Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today, it's a glorious day and the final game of the homestand as the Astros play the New York Mets. Good afternoon, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays. Another spectacular day for weather. We don't want to go on the road, JD.
I know. I was just thinking the same exact thing. The roof is peeled back. Another perfect day for a baseball here this afternoon, and a chance for Anury Rodriguez to make his third major league start, and nobody exemplifies the ups and downs of baseball more than Anury. 2 starts so far, 1 very good, 1 not good at all. We're showing you pictures from his first start in Cincinnati. 5 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball. Really dominated that Reds lineup, a very good lineup for 5 innings. Last time out, he got rocked around a little bit, so we'll see what he brings this afternoon.
Lefty Chris Capuano goes for the Mets, and coming up next, it was a big milestone day for Carlos Lee yesterday. He got hit number 2,000, and number 2001 was a home run blast. It's Lee and the Astros against Beltran and the Mets next. Hyundai, introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. See your Hyundai dealer for details. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. It is absolutely an ideal day, and these fans will enjoy the afternoon here. Bright sunny skies. Temperatures are perfect. And let's check the New York Mets starting lineup from Gary Collins. Jose Reyes, Josh Tolley, David Wright, Carlos Beltran back in the lineup. They thought he might have had conjunctivitis in his eye yesterday, and he did not play. Jason Bay, Daniel Murphy, Justin Turner, Jason Friday, and Chris Capuano.
Young Anury Rodriguez takes him out for the Astros this afternoon. He's making his 3rd start. He also pitched a handful of times out of the bullpen. He's 0-1 with a 5.50 ERA in 18 innings. He's walked 6, struck out 13, 4 long ones, a 261 average. 2 starts so far, both against the Reds, 1 good, and one not very good. So he's looking to bounce back from that last outing. Defensively, a little different look today. Jason Michaels gets a start in left, Bourne in Pence in center and right. The infield as Carlos over there at first. Billy Hall is your second sacker. Barmes and Johnson cover the left side of the infield. J.R. Tools does the catching. It's kind of ironic that the catching situation with the Astros now. Roberto Quintero, the Spanish-speaking catcher, catches all the American guys, and JR catches the Hispanic guys.
Oh, well, it's a cultural mix.
You know, a lot of times a team will, for communication reasons, they'll say, well, we're going to assign you because you speak the same language. Of course, the language of baseball is not all that complicated. One's a fastball, two's a curve, three's a slider, wiggles a change.
International. Things running a little bit late today. That's why the umpiring crew is gathered off to the side, because Anuri Rodriguez is already warming up. And there was a ceremony on the field, and a nice one for Carlos Lee. The Astros presenting Carlos with the shadow box with a photo of hit number 2000 yesterday and the baseball from that game. So that might have been the reason for the delay. Carlos at first base today, and now the lineup cards have been exchanged and the umpires are headed for their positions.
Well, besides, it's Sunday. Nobody's in a hurry. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. We're at the ballpark.
There's no rush.
No rush.
Enjoy the day.
Carpe the diem.
Deciding game of this series today, JD.
Yeah, a bunch of little leaguers in the house today. A lot of folks up on Union Station, up on the rooftop, peeking in, enjoying these last glorious days before the heat and humidity descend upon us like a crushing anvil.
So that's what we have to look forward to. All right, let's go back to Carpe Diem then. That's good.
Let's throw a dose of reality in all this.
Jose Reyes, 318, one homer, 15 runs batted in, 3 for 8 in this series. Watch out for this guy. He is electric. Fouls it back, strike one. The numbers are really interesting. A leadoff hitter who's tied for the league lead in total bases, tied for the league lead in hits. Just a real threat, JD.
Yeah, he's got pretty good power. He's only had 1 home run so far. Very aggressive again, attacking the first pitch here. We've seen him do that a lot.
Anuri missing there, and the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. Anuri's command was not the same last time out, as you discussed, the numbers being so different compared to his first major league start in Cincinnati.
Well, nice breaking ball there, and that's, in his first start, I think because of the adrenaline maybe, and he was just pumping one fastball after another, and he was able to get away with it because his location was pretty good. Although I thought he got away with some mistakes in that first start as well, but you can't quibble with 5 one-hit innings. And last time, he didn't get away with much.
Slap to third. Short hop play for Chris Johnson, out number 1. And with Reyes tied for the league lead in doubles with 13, the league leader in triples with 6. What a relief that is to keep him off base.
Yeah, and especially for a young pitcher. I'm sure what Brad Arnsberg and Brad Mills are thinking when they send Anuri out there is just get off to a good start, post a couple zeros early, avoid the big blow up, and then settle in.
Brad Mills hoping for that very thing, as Josh Thole is the next batter. Thole was 0 for 3 with a walk in the opener of the series Friday night. And that fastball just missed clipping the corner. Chad Fairchild is the home plate umpire. 227 is Thole's average. He's driven in 10.
Destined to be an umpire at birth, you would think, eh? Fairchild?
Fairchild.
He has good riding action on his four-seam fastball. You see it, and you can tell better when the hitter swings. He gets a lot of late swings on fastballs up in the zone. It's got that good riding action.
That comes back for a strike, and it's 2-1 for Anuri Rodriguez, 23 years old, from the Dominican Republic. His mother watched his first major league start on the computer in the Dominican.
Good try.
3-1. Thole doesn't seem to be much of a power threat. But he takes a walk.
Point being, he was given that situation, just channel one, and that's probably what he was trying to do. He just didn't catch the plate. Thole's not gone deep yet this year, and Well, it's not that bad because it's a walk, but he had 97 at bats coming in.
He's on for David Wright now. Wright hit a homer in the opener of this series. That was a big one. 231, 6 homers, 18 runs batted in for David. And that is his only hit of the series so far. He walked and stole a base yesterday. And now Wright is out in front, 1-0. Wright has taken 24 walks this year. That's tied for second in the league. Wright's home run in the 8th inning gave the Mets the lead Friday night. He looks at that one and it evens the count at 1-1. The Mets won that game 6-4 after trailing 4-0. Yesterday the Astros built a 4-0 lead after one, and then they added on late with 3 home runs and won it 7-3. So this will decide this series, and the Astros are up 3-2 on the Mets in the season series. A win today would give the Astros a 500 homestand. They are 2-3, and they're headed out on a 3-city road trip. After this game, they depart for Atlanta, where they'll play Monday night and Tuesday afternoon. Then on to St. Louis, where Brad Mills' club has a meeting with the Cardinals Wednesday night and Thursday afternoon, and next weekend in Toronto. It's 2-1 to Wright. David last year drove in 103 for the Mets with 29 homers and a .283 batting average. It's a .305 career hitter.
And power numbers have been diminished some since they moved into Citi Field. Not that Shea Stadium was a bandbox, but Citi Field very difficult to leave.
It really is. 2-2. Now we'll see what happens. We were given a stat about David Wright that when pitchers throw him a fastball of 92 or better, wow, on the finishing pitch, yeah, there might not be too many of those. He has really struggled to hit that pitch this year.
Somebody's doing some serious digging.
Serious. He's like 3 for 28 in those situations. And that one missed.
That was only 91.
Oh, okay.
If it was 92, he would have chased it. He could track that 91 mile an hour heater just a wee bit better.
3-2 with 1 out. We'll see if Tolley goes. Wright has struck out 41 times. Mets have been a running team this year. They're 3rd in the league in steals with 34, but Tolley doesn't figure to be a base stealer. And it's popped up. Clint Barmas down with the glasses on this very bright day. 2 outs.
Well, challenge for the infielders and outfielders on pop-ups and fly balls here this afternoon, and base runners have to be mindful of that and be ready to take an extra base on a misplay.
Carlos Beltran greeted by a chorus of boos, and that is the usual occurrence here when he returns to Minute Maid Park. .294 for Carlos, 8 homers, 24 runs batted in. 1 hit in this series. Leads the league in extra base hits with 21. In addition to his 8 homers, he has 13 doubles.
Yeah, he was very good against the Astros in that series in New York last month and really swung the bat well here the other night. Bat speed appears to have returned.
It sure does. This one goes over second base. Michael Bourne comes in left center field. And that's the first inning for Anuri Rodriguez with the 0. has made out his lineup card with Michael Bourne in center, J.R. Tolles the catcher, Hunter Pence in right field, Carlos Lee plays first base. Bill Hall's in the 5 spot at second base. Jason Michaels gets the call in left field today with Chris Johnson at third base, Clint Farmers at shortstop, and Enuri Rodriguez the pitcher.
A veteran left-hander Chris Capuano works for the Metropolitans this afternoon, and perhaps his best start of the year came against the Astros back on April 21st. 7 innings of 6-hit, 1-run baseball for the Duke man. Capuano, the lefty, has endured some significant injury problems, but has bounced back. He's thrown the ball pretty well. Defensively, it's Bay, Friday, and Beltran. And the infield features Wright and Reyes, very talented over there at third and short. Turner and Murphy cover second and first. Tolle is the catcher. Capuano 2-4 with a 4.93 ERA, but certainly could be better. The Mets scored just 1 run in his last 2 starts. 4 runs total in his last 3.
Michael Bourne at 265 has driven in 9. He has 3 hits in this series. 3-game hitting streak for Michael. He lines it past the drawn in Daniel Murphy. Murphy had crept into the grass, and Bourne just shot one right by him for a 4-game hitting streak. Murphy got up for it, but there was little reaction time.
You see he's in on the grass, pinch again to take away the bunt. Michael able to exploit that with a good solid line drive single.
Now J.R. Tolles. He selected some country music for his introduction today. 271 for JR, 2 homers, 4 runs batted in.
Chris Capuano has a very good pickoff move.
That makes it an interesting battle with Bourne not having been thrown out this year on attempted steals. He's going, and now it's Murphy throwing to Reyes for the out. First time Bourne has been gunned down after 22 straight steals going back to last year. He was 14 for 14 this year.
I see Capuano. And very close at second base. I think he was safe. The tag was high. Yeah, it looked like he was in there. I think an umpire in a play like that, when a guy gets picked, anticipates. It's close, but I think he was in there.
Angel Hernandez with the out call.
Yeah. Oh well. Flip a coin. 50-50.
JR takes. Capuano with the outstanding changeup. Goes to a 1-1 count.
There's a good look at it. It was close. And it's tough to call from where he was behind the play. Hard to see exactly when the tag was applied and when the foot was on the base.
True. The angle from our replay was much better.
Yeah. Well, they should come to us. We'll be the replay judges.
Okay. 2 balls and a strike.
We're impartial. We call them like we see them, Dandaroo.
Soft fly ball goes out to center field. Pridey comes in. Out number 2 for Capuano.
Capuano may be one of those lefties. You know, sometimes I've talked to a number of pitchers over here who claim to have the ability to react to a base runner going and then go to first. That's very difficult to do, but he stays so balanced in his delivery. Perhaps that was the case. He saw Michael break and then went over. Normally, as a pitcher, you're going over and the guy goes on your first move and you hope you guess right.
Hunter Pence is 1 for 9 in this series. Beginning the day at 296 with 5 homers. He's driven in 31. Foul back for strike 1. Hunter is 3rd in the league in runs batted in with 31, and he's 5th in doubles with a dozen. Hunter will stop to sign autographs on his way into the ballpark today. We had a youth parade on the field before the game. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Great day to be outside.
Yeah, this is just beautiful. This would be a good day to take your television, put it out on the back porch, get some long cable. If you don't have one out there, take it outside.
Okay.
Watch the ball game. Fire up the grill.
Presenting all kinds of options. 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, and if you get tired of us, you could just turn the sound down and put some music on.
That happens.
Listen to us blabbering up here for 3.5 hours.
Maybe 2.5 would be good.
That'd be nice.
There's a 2-out walk to Hunter Pence. His 13th base on balls. Capuano's calling Tolley out.
Capuano's not going to overpower you. He's a command guy. He'll try to get you to chase a little changeup. He's got a nice changeup. He fades down and away to the right-handed hitters. He'll cut his fastball in on their hands.
Carlos Lee is on a good roll lately. An 8-game hitting streak, a .419 average during that time. 245, 4 homers, 22 runs batted in, 4 for 8 in this series, including the homer last night. And strike one to El Caballo. Carlos has 2 hits and 11 career at-bats against Capuano, 2 former Milwaukee Brewers squaring off. Capuano was drafted by Arizona in '99, traded to Milwaukee after the '03 season. And there's the throw over to first. And he joined the Mets after going 4-4 last year for Milwaukee with a 3.95 ERA. Chris, 32 years old, from Springfield, Massachusetts. He was an 18-game winner in '05 with the Brewers.
He was an all-star the next year.
Foul ball will be out of play.
But he was poised to, turn into one of the better starters in the league. Certainly one of the better left-handed starters. Then the injury bug hit him. Been a bit of a battle to reestablish himself at the big league level.
The Mets are tied for last place with Washington in the NL East at 18-21. They've won 6 of 9. Rolled up the line outside first base, still 0-2. Yesterday, R.A. Dickey got rocked in that 4-run Astros first. They batted around, and then he had a chat in the tunnel with Terry Collins about staying in the game, which he did. He went 5 1/3. He put up 4 zeros after that first inning, and he said, well, I need to stay in. Let's not mess up the next 3 games by getting me out of this game now. And he did a nice job. He wound up giving up some runs later on and was tagged with 6 earnings for the day. Out to left field. Jason Bay handles it, and it's no runs a hit. And a man stranded. No score after 1.
This date in 1968, the White Sox faced the Angels at Milwaukee's County Stadium for the first of 9 games to be played there by the White Sox. It was the first American League game in Milwaukee since 1901. Of course, remember that was during the flat period in Milwaukee when they were between big league clubs.
Vote for the All-Stars. Those fans are leaning on that banner, and we hope you get the vote out. Now it's inning number 2, and Jason Bay leads it off. Off the end of the bat, it goes in the air on the right side to Bill Hall. pitch, one out for Anuri Rodriguez in the second. Daniel Murphy will follow. Murphy did a nice job on that Michael Bourne steal of doing what first basemen are taught to do. He broke toward the pitcher to receive that throw, and then that gave him a better throwing angle to second base.
And it creates two shorter throws as well. You get the ball a little bit quicker from the pitcher, and gives you a shorter throw to make to second base.
Murphy hit a home run yesterday off Jay Happ. He's 1 for 8 in the series.
Oh my goodness. Ball's not low.
245 for Murphy, 3 homers. He's driven in a dozen. Should have joined us in the bullpen before the game today.
You guys getting a little work in out there?
Yeah, you could have come out there
and throwing,
done some umpiring. Could have helped us out with the box. Trying to interpret that crazy rule.
That would have taken an hour. Gone on my soapbox. Would have ruined it for you.
Clint Barmas comes over and makes that catch. 2 outs. Sparky did a nice job of explaining things.
Now, the thing about the balk that I keep coming back to is it's kind of like the elastic clause in the Constitution. And in the rule book it says the umpire should bear in mind the intent of the pitcher. So, you know, the balk rule is in place so that the pitcher doesn't deceive the base runner. And there's that clause in the rule book that says the umpire should. Doesn't mean he has to, but he should try to get, you know, consider the intention of the pitcher. Like, you know, the silly one where the pitcher's on the rubber and he's, you know, taking a sign or whatever, and he drops the ball. It comes set and he drops the ball and they call a balk. That needs to go away.
Strike 2, Justin Turner, and it's 0-2. Well, Sparky and I were pursuing a little observed balk. Maybe you've seen this before. We'll ask you about it after this 0-2 pitch to Turner. Different kind of a balk than what we've been seeing. That's out into right field. Hunter Pence charging in for it and snagging it. So 1-2-3 second. That's a sure way to get that third out. Try to get a story in.
Talking balk.
No score.
Are free all summer, presented by Minute Maid Park. It's back and available for every home game all summer long. For every full price adult ticket you purchase in the outfield or view deck sections, you get the up to 2 free tickets for kids 14 and under, absolutely free. Visit Astros.com for tickets. Bill.
Thanks, Patty. Bill Hall shoots one up the right field line. It's headed for the corner, and Bill Hall has dropped one in that bounces off the wall. He heads for second base with double number 5 of the season. He has hit some bolts in this series. including a home run and an RBI single yesterday for Hall.
And that's been a tough go for Bill so far, but starting to show some life in that bat, and that's why the Astros signed him. He brings some power to the middle of the diamond, and that fastball was below the knees. Got that low ball in the air. My goodness.
Nice way to start an inning. Jason Michaels follows. Jason's hitting 100. He is 2 for 7 in his career against Capuano. He looks at strike one. We were talking about balks when the top of the inning ended. Had a discussion with J. Mike about whether he has seen this in a game. He has not. Most people have not seen a balk call in which the pitcher goes ahead and throws the pitch after the balk is called, and the hitter hits it. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think I have seen that.
Okay. Well, the rule is, and it's not really in the rule book that we have, but it's in the umpire's instructions. And Brad Mills let me read that today. It's a big manual. That's very helpful in understanding the rules of the game. Too bad they don't give that to all of us. If the pitcher throws it and the hitter hits it and everybody advances at least one base, that takes precedence over the balk call. But it's something that most people have not seen in their lives. Steve Sparks has seen it in a lot of youth league games, and Sparky dealt with that on the pregame show, which you may not have seen.
Still may not understand it.
It's hard. You know, the balk rule is so hard to understand. It really is. Ground ball to second. Turner over to first. But tell JD what you've seen in those youth league games with that.
You know what? As soon as the umpire calls balk, and if the pitcher goes ahead and delivers the ball anyway, it's a free swing. Yeah. So if the guy hits a line drive right at the shortstop, then you can take the balk call and just take the guy to second base. But if the guy swings the bat and hits a home run, you can take that. So you got a choice of whatever results from that play. So it's a freebie, JD. I know you love those.
Yeah, I like that play.
Okay. Runner at third now for Chris Johnson, who's on a 3-game hitting streak. There's strike one with the infield staying back. CJ's driven in 15.
It's like in football, you know, when the team jumps offside, it's a free play. You take your shot downfield.
Good point. Or if you're going up for a shot in basketball and the foul's called, you want to get that shot off if you can. But it's something that just hardly ever happens in the major leagues. Roll up the middle, that'll get the runner home. Reyes can't stop it from going through. RBI single for Johnson. 1-0 Astros. 16th run batted in for CJ.
Another guy who's shown some life from his bat here in recent days. Riding the wave of emotion that came with his bobblehead day yesterday. He continues to deliver. Good solid single up the middle, and the Astros draw first blood.
And we saw Bill Hall hit that double early on in the at bat. Those two used to be teammates, talking about Chris Capuano. That's why I don't like to see all these players talking to each other so much. I think Bill Hall's a little comfortable facing that guy. He doesn't feel like he's going to brush him back, and he starts diving across the plate. What do you think, JD?
Yeah, that was always difficult when you had to pitch against your former teammates. I know Dickie Thon wore me out. I didn't have a lot of confrontations with Dickie, pitcher hitter, but the ones that we did, I recall him inflicting some damage.
Varmus falls behind 0-2. Well, that bobblehead is still there, and they're going to leave it there for good luck. Good luck charm. Probably see it on the road, too, right?
Yeah, well, until the next time CJ takes an offer with 3 lineouts and pop up to the catcher, and he comes in with his bat and just demolishes that thing.
Yeah, keep him away from that.
They may not clear customs.
That's a very good point.
The Astros version of the roaming gnome. CJ's bobblehead will be showing up in Toronto.
They'll break it open and see what's inside.
Brad Mills said, though, that he had seen that type of a balk called once that he can recall in a major league game and maybe once in a spring training game.
I know I've seen the play because hitters are told, go ahead and swing the bat.
Okay.
You can't lose.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Clint Varmus.
it's just rare because most balks are called prior to the pitcher really getting started. You know, he comes set and he wobbles a little bit or he breaks his hands.
Hey, JD, you could probably relate to this. My coaches told me not to swing.
Let it hit you.
And a lot of people think because the umpires put their hands in the air when a balk is called that they're calling time. Well, not necessarily. There is time called if the pitcher doesn't throw the pitch after a balk.
What I've always been impressed with was with the righteous indignation with which umpires call balks.
Okay.
They come out so strong. That's a balk, and they're screaming and pointing, and everything comes. You know, it's like criminal activity that they're stopping.
Like they saw somebody leaving a store.
You're not going to get away with that on my watch.
Varmus draws a walk. And now Anuri Rodriguez will bat with runners at first and second. And one out. Struggling Capuano has walked 2. Anuri has 1 sacrifice. He is 0 for 2.
Well, one thing the Astros generally don't do well is draw walks, but they've had some games recently where that has not been the case. And against a guy again like Capuano, whose MO is to try to get you to chase his pitches just on the edges or off the plate, and patience is a pretty good game plan.
Murphy comes in on the grass at first, and Wright is also in tight at third base. Chris Johnson looking around to see where the middle infielders are playing as he takes his lead off second. The bunt is foul.
The situation here with 1 out in the inning already, the Mets, their thinking has to be, well, we got to be sure we get an out here. David Murphy, though, coming very aggressively from first base, Wright hedging his way back to the bag, so that, you know, they've got designs on a forced play at third base and maybe even a double play if Rodriguez doesn't get a good bunt down and doesn't get a good break out of the box.
Chipper Jones was a late scratch from the lineup for the Braves today against the Phillies with soreness in his right knee.
And Jason Hayward hasn't played in 4 days. I don't know if he's in there today or not.
We'll check.
But Astros head to Atlanta tomorrow. I kind of want to see Hayward play, but it'd be good news for the Astros if he took another couple days off.
If you were pitching, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't admit to it, though.
Fouled, and it's 0-2. Braves really put a nice stretch together. And it's going to be a challenging road trip for the Astros. Atlanta now 22-19. Not a great record, but has had good pitching.
Yeah, the best in the league. And today it's Tim Hudson and Roy Halladay in that ball game.
Dream matchup there. Now 0-2. Michael Bourne on deck as Anuri squares early and misses for a strikeout. 2 outs.
Well, given the way Murphy was coming, it was going to be very difficult to get a successful sacrifice down there anyway. And that's why you keep the bunt play on even with 2 strikes, because if you take it off and then he hits a little ground ball to short, you've got a double play and the inning's over. At least with the strikeout, you still have a man in scoring position and a chance to get him home here with Michael up.
Bourne lined a single to right field in the first inning. He'll turn back towards second. Cardinals and the Reds are playing, and after 5, Cincinnati leads it 3-2. Reds moving into first last night by a half game. Lance Berkman hit his 11th.
Well, Lance had cooled off a little bit here lately, but having a nice day today. You can draw similarities between Berkman and Beltran. You know, 2 guys coming off injuries and a lot of questions as to what they had left, and both guys so far this year proving that, at least to this point in the season, they've got plenty left.
Yeah. Bourne looks at it. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Michael. Michael had a good game against a couple of Cincinnati lefties earlier on this homestand. Overall, 179 against left-handed pitching for Michael coming into this game.
Capuano, I'm going to try to get him out away. If he gets a base hit, I'd rather it be to left field.
Rolled up the middle. Turner with the flip out of his glove to Reyes for the force on Barmes. The Astros settle for 1 run. 2 hits, 2 left. They lead it 1-0.
The home for 3 different major league teams. What is the stadium?
Is that the permanent home?
Yes, there was a permanent home for 3 teams
for
at different
a
times.
number of years.
At different times, yeah.
3 different major teams.
Polo Grounds would be, I don't know if 3 teams played there.
It's Giants, Yankees, and Mets.
Polo Grounds?
You got it right.
Okay.
It was at Polo Grounds. The Yankees and Giants were both. That was their regular stadium before Yankee Stadium was built. And then there's an interesting note. You know, County Stadium actually was a home to the Braves and the Brewers. And we saw that history note earlier. It was a home for selected games by the White Sox, but that wasn't their regular home.
Yeah, and Miller Park is home to the Cubs for a very brief, painful series.
Oh, yeah. Ball 1 to Jason Pridey, who has 3 homers, 9 runs batted in.
I guess it was home to the Astros, though, right?
Technically,
they were the home team.
It was.
Supposedly.
Didn't feel like it.
No.
1 ball, 1 strike to Pridey. Pridey has 57 at bats, 491 slugging percentage. He's had some good games. Had a 3-hit game against the Dodgers May 7th. And Uri moves him back.
Here again is our 18th Tour Trivia answer for those of you that had your volume down. The answer was the Polo Grounds. The Giants and Yankees were regular tenants there before Yankee Stadium, and of course the Mets. That was their first home.
They had their headphones on listening to music because JD already suggested that.
Listen to some tunes, boy. Coming in today, had the windows down, had a little Chris Christopherson going.
Oh, man. Helped me make it through the night.
Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Bobby McGee, and turn up the radio real loud so you can't hear yourself sing, so you don't embarrass yourself.
That's a good move. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Capuano on deck. Nationals got 6 in the first and lead the Marlins 6-2 after 3. Javier Vasquez still in the game after getting torched. That's to center field and hit well. Michael Bourne back in front of Towles Hill. Now number 1.
Wrong part of the yard. Wrong center fielder to take on there, Mr. Pridey. But again, exhibiting some pretty good pop. Decent minor league power numbers throughout his career. Pridey's not a kid. He's been around a little bit. He's 27 years of age. But he's Pretty safe place to go for Nuri Rodriguez. Let him hit it out there. Have Michael track it down for you.
Capuano has 2 hits and 11 at bats. Both those hits have been doubles for Chris. I mentioned he went to Duke University. Tal Smith, who went to Duke, was on the field presenting the award to Carlos Lee before the game today. Dick Grote was another famous baseball alum from Duke. That is out number 2. Well,
yeah, no more obviously more well known for that basketball program, but pretty decent baseball program over the years.
Yeah.
Mike Trombley. Pitched with him in Minnesota, long-time reliever, mostly in the American League. He's a Dookie.
That's 7 straight retired by Nuri Rodriguez after his 1-out walk in the first to Josh Tolley. Jose Reyes opened the game by grounding out to third. Chris Johnson again is pitching in on him. There's strike 1 to Reyes. He rolls it to CJ. Across to Carlos Lee. Nuri Rodriguez has looked spectacular through 3. The Astros lead it 1-0.
Run walk presented by the Methodist Hospital in partnership with the JLH Foundation on Memorial Day, Monday, May 30th. All participants will receive 2 free tickets to an Astro home game and more. Proceeds benefit the Astros in Action Foundation. To register, visit astros.com. Well, guys, we established yesterday no one's going to do the Ironman. Are you up for a little 5K?
That's a little much, too. Can we get it down to 1?
No.
Oh, Patty.
JD? Counting on you.
I'll do the
walk portion.
I like the walk.
How about some spectating? We're good at that.
How about the 5K driving in my car with the windows down singing Chris Christopherson?
Yeah, there you go.
You got it going.
That's a good plan.
J.R. Tolles takes ball 1. He hit a fly ball to center in the first. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Capuano falling behind some of the hitters. He's walked a couple. Chris has been hit hard this year. 2 balls and a strike. He's given up 50 hits this year in 40 innings.
Whenever I'm asked why don't you run, it reminds me of the Darren Clark comment when he was asked why don't you lift weights, and he said because they're heavy. When I run, it hurts.
It's not for everybody, Patty. It is a great sport. That triathlon is unbelievable. The amount of training that takes to do one of those.
Nuts.
Oh, it's a whole different culture. Fly ball, right field line. Beltran comes over for it, but it's going to drop foul.
Boy. Yeah, it looked like nobody was going to be able to get there. The only question was, would it be fair or foul? And foul by just a hair.
Carlos wasn't exactly sprinting all out to get there. He was kind of cruising. Tolles back to the plate. Phillies in Atlanta are scoreless after 3 in Atlanta.
That's no shocker. Lead pitching.
Halladay and Hudson. That'll be one to watch today. Strike 3 call. Capuano gets strikeout number 2. Hunter Pence will follow. He drew a walk in the first.
Yeah, that low 3/4 arm angle that Capuano has, it gets a lot of cutting action on his fastball. That one catches the inside corner. JR thought it was off the plate. Pink in the Park all week long here. There's a golf tournament tomorrow, right? In conjunction with this Pink in the Park program?
Yes, there's a ladies golf tournament. That's true. Yeah, it's been a good weekend. Kevin and Sparky were wearing their pink shirts. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nice fundraising luncheon was held at Union Station on Friday. All the players were there.
Brownie, are you in that ladies golf tournament?
Yes, I have entered.
I've seen you swing.
Well, I belong in it. That's for sure. Of course, a lot of them could out-hit me.
I don't know if that's more disparaging towards Brownie or the ladies.
Probably the ladies. 1 and 2. That's why it's a good sport, though, because of the handicap and the different tee lengths and all those things. You know?
Don't kid yourself. Brownie's going to be an ace at this in relatively short order. I've seen marked improvement already.
Not on this road trip, because nobody's taking golf clubs on this trip, JD.
Well, we got to go through customs in Toronto.
Yeah.
It's a little burdensome.
It sure does. We're all armed with passports for this trip. A little different feel than it used to be. 2 balls, 2 strikes, but it will be interesting to go to Toronto for the first time.
Yeah, you know, it used to be routine to go to Montreal, but they haven't been in the league in a while, so our first trip north of the border since the Montreal days.
Pence is down on strikes. Capuano challenging upstairs. 3rd strikeout for Chris.
Yeah, he can work up there again. He's another one of those sneaky lefties that works under the ball a little bit, and when up above the hands like that can be effective. He's not a hard thrower. That one clocked at 89 miles an hour, but because of the good off-speed stuff and the ability to move the ball around, able to sneak one by you from time to time.
Carlos Lee had a fly ball to left earlier. There's ball 1. In the manager's office, Brad Mills talked about Carlos's improvement at the plate last 2 or 3 weeks. Now he's made some adjustments. He and Mike Barnett have worked on that, on getting ready to hit just a little bit sooner. Carlos had talked about that a couple of weeks ago. He didn't feel that he was ready to hit, but now things have turned around his way. He was popping up quite a lot earlier this season. That's been really rare for him last 2-3 weeks.
A tendency to drift a little bit with his swing. He has this rocking motion where he, rocks onto his back leg and then comes through the ball, and he's kind of drifting, kind of floating forward, and that causes the hands to drag, and you get tied up with a good fastball. A lot of lazy pop-ups.
2-2. As Brad Mills pointed out, he and Mike Barnett have worked on it for some time, but you don't always get those results, immediately after beginning to try to change the plan at the plate. And it did take a little while before those results started to come. Now 3-2.
Capuano's wondering, well, how come that was a strike on Tolles?
Yeah, he was starting to leave him out.
Pretty much the same pitch. Tolles is probably wondering the same thing.
Now we're creating quite a bit of confusion.
Changeup.
Smack foul by Carlos. thing Carlos has done well over the years is limit his strikeouts. He can hit with 2 strikes. A lot of big home run and RBI men are also strikeout guys. Foul back.
Ooh, a lot of optimism in that swing right there. Good aggressive hack.
Yeah, it was. They have to be having a wonderful time out there taking in the Rays.
Don't forget your lotion. I want to get burnt.
On a day like this, that could happen. And a strikeout does follow for Capuano. He strikes out the side here in the 3rd inning. It's 1-0 Astros.
Fourth, and be sure to catch the 9-inning lunch break for every weekday afternoon game this season, with the next available game coming up on Wednesday, May 25th, as the Astros host the Dodgers at 1:05. You get a field box ticket for just $20 in food and beverage credit for only $45. Visit astros.com/value for tickets. Bill.
Thanks, Patty. 1-0 Astros. We move to the 4th inning, and Nuri Rodriguez is one of the stories of this game. That food might be another one. That looks really good. Josh Tolley's the only Met to reach base in the first 3 off of Nuri. He walked. That looked like a good pitch. It's ball 1.
Yeah.
In Milwaukee, Zach Greinke has 3 hitless innings going in Milwaukee with a 5-0 lead over Pittsburgh. He's batting in the bottom of the 3rd. Good fastball there. Makes it 1-1. He was nowhere close to getting that bat in the zone.
Yeah.
Got to try that again, don't you, after a swing like that?
Yes, I think so.
Kevin Correa is pitching for the Pirates today. Ryan Braun hit his 12th homer with 2 men on. First off Correa. And Casey McGee connected in the 3rd, or number 3 in the 1st inning. So that was a rough 4-run first for Correa. Two balls, 2 strikes to Josh Tolley. Nuri Rodriguez is trying for his first major league victory. It's only his 3rd start. He's made only 11 major league appearances after being taken in the Rule 5 draft by the Astros from Tampa Bay over the winter. 23 years old. And he started the year in the bullpen, but now has come in to really throw a different spin on the opportunity to evaluate his talents this year. Nelson Figueroa is back at Oklahoma City. And in the air, and Michael Bourne shading his eyes in center. Handles that one. One down. So Nuri has a chance to last for a while in this spot in the rotation if he does well.
Well, yeah, 23-year-old guy with a good arm. We've seen him at 92 miles an hour at times with that fastball. So, a chance to get some innings here at the big league level, and one, to evaluate him, two, for him to get a chance to get a feel for pitching at this level as a starter, what works, what doesn't work, what he needs to improve upon. Right now leaning heavily on that fastball, and so far it's been enough today. A little breaker to get over. That to me, that's an important pitch for him. If he can throw, you don't have to have a great breaking ball, but if you can throw a breaking ball on 0-0 to get ahead of some hitters, because he does like to challenge with that first pitch fastball. If you're not hitting your spots with it, you could run into some trouble.
It's 1-1 to David Wright.
I think we can establish that he's a fly ball pitcher, at least today. Just about all the outs coming in the air.
Fastball foul off the mask of J.R. Tolles.
And that would really fall in line with this Astros staff. They don't really have a ground ball guy in the rotation.
JR has to figure out a way to get 1 more mile per hour out of Nuri Rodriguez because he has 2 strikes on David Wright.
Yeah, I think he should go out to the mound and say, hey, look, you got to throw this with 92. Whatever it takes.
Got to be 92 to finish him off.
Throw a breaking ball in the dirt. Yeah, get it down there, JR's telling me. Nice.
He did. Appeal at first, he went. Strikeout of Wright. Strikeout number 1.
JR says, come on, get that thing down out of the zone. See if we can get him to chase. Wright didn't think he went far enough. They have a legitimate beef.
Wright's retired, 2 outs. It's Carlos Beltran who hit a fly ball to center. That's ball 1 to him. Jordan Lyles pitched for Oklahoma City last night at home against Salt Lake. He lost the game, but he pitched well. Gave up 2 earned runs in 7 innings with no walks, 4 strikeouts. Carlos Lee on his right knee gloves the line drive from Carlos Beltran. One Carlos to another, and it's 1-0 Astros.
Up by 1. Time now to introduce you to our progressive fans of the game. I've got Amanda. I've got Elva. Amanda tweeted me and said she should be the fan of the game because
Because I needed sunscreen.
She wanted me to bring her sunscreen. She's been out here enduring the game. It's beautiful out here, but a little toasty out here on the patio. But I know you guys are having a good time. You've made some new friends, you told me.
Oh, of course. We always make new friends. It's a great time out here. Awesome view of the game. And it's May 15th and the roof's open. I mean, this is a day to bottle.
That's exactly right. Now, but you are a true fan out here. You've got your own little prism placard thing. Elvis Corner, you mark your spot.
Oh, yeah, all the time. I'm here all the time, which is why they, said you need your little own plaque, and that's what I got.
All right, you got your plaque. You guys also get our Progressive Fans of the Game bag. Thank you so much. Enjoy it, and I'll apply your sunscreen here when we get off the air. Guys.
All right, thanks, Patty.
I thought maybe there was sunscreen in the bag.
Yeah.
That would have made sense.
Yeah.
It would have. Bill Hall fouls it away. Somebody came up with it. Oh, yeah, the guy with the glove in the front row. Well done.
A Met fan, but still a good play.
Nonetheless,
Yeah.
he came prepared. Saw a lot of Met fans down behind home plate Friday night. Some kind of a special trip some of them put together to come here. Bill Hall doubled into the right field corner and scored the only run of this game. Foul ball. David Wright came up with it behind third base. Let's see the catch of this game so far.
Fans having a big weekend here in Houston. The near escape the other day, the guy on the field, and now this guy. Don't lean too far now.
The New York papers are calling that guy Spidey fan, by the way. We've had 2 postponements today. Kansas City at Detroit, San Francisco at Chicago, both postponed by rain. Bill Hall takes it. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Bill. Trying to get something working as he started in the second with that double and came around on the single by Chris Johnson. Boston and the Yankees play again tonight at Yankee Stadium. John Lester 4-1 and Freddie Garcia 2-2, both with ERAs under 3 to square off. And there's a lot for the reporters to report tonight around that Yankee team.
Yeah, this is kind of a throwback to the good old days of the Yankees in the 70s. The Bronx Zoo with all the drama with Billy Martin and Reggie and that whole gang. Now Jorge Posada asking out of the lineup because Joe Girardi put him in the 9-hole. He was humiliated by that apparently, and he said, I don't want to play. And now he's backing up and saying it was because his back was stiff.
Okay. Reyes backhands, drops it. Hall is on. Should be a hit for Hall. And again, he leads off an inning and reaches base. It is a single for Hall. He's 2 for 2.
Opposite field double last time. Now an infield single. And this is a play that Reyes could have made, but if you're the official scorer, you're thinking, well, should he have made this play? Do I feel confident if he gloves this ball, he's going to throw out Bill Hall? And if I'm scoring, I say, I can't make that kind of call with any conviction. I'm going to give him a knock. Reyes certainly has enough arm to make that play from the hole.
Back-to-back 2-hit games for Bill Hall. He's on for Jason Michaels. J-Mike hit a grounder to get Hall from second to third.
I understand Posada being a little upset, but I mean, look no further than the stat sheet. He's lucky he's in the lineup at all the way he's going.
Yeah. That's just a very interesting saga that does not put a good spin on his behavior at all.
If you've been a long-time player somewhere, you deserve a certain amount of respect, but it doesn't come down to you deserve to be in any certain place in the batting order in the lineup.
No.
Thanks for what you've done for us, but he's been pretty well compensated over the years for doing the job that he's done.
Well, he's hit 6 homers, but he's hitting in the 160s.
Yeah.
And he has the lowest major league batting average of anybody with any substantial number of at-bats.
And apparently he's slighted too because he's just DHing now, not catching. But he never had the reputation of being a good defensive catcher anyway.
No. And part of it might be Yankees' explanation that because of his bad back, we felt that he would be a more productive player if he didn't catch. Two 2-1 to J. Mike. This should be an action pitch for him. He cracks one to right center field. That one's going to sail a long way off the bullpen wall. Bill Hall sprinting around third. He comes to the plate, and it's 2-0. RBI double, Jason Michaels. First RBI of the season for J. Mike. Oh, he hit that one a ton to right center.
His forte, the two-base hit. He had a bunch of them last year in limited time. RBI double here. Give Nuri Rodriguez a little cushion. Ball out away from him. He gets extended, stays through it. Good looking swing. Quick bat there by J. Mike.
Yes, it was. Bill Hall has scored both runs in this game. Now it's Chris Johnson. Michaels at second, and CJ drove in Hall with his single up the middle in the second inning. 5 hits for the Astros now of Capuano. That one heads for center field. Friday moves in for it. And it's out number 1. Clint Barmas is next. He walked in the second. Our leaders of the game is brought to you by United. Proud to fly the Houston Astros. Astros are third in the league, hitting .291 with runners in scoring position. J. Mike in scoring position for Clint Barmas. Hunter Pence is hitting .396 with men in scoring position. Nuri Rodriguez comes out to the on-deck circle. And there's strike one. The Astros are 4-1 in home day games. You were talking about that study of hitters in the sunlight versus in the shade. Hunter Pence is hitting .347 in home day games.
And that depends on whether it's a home game for the roof open or not.
That's
if the roof's closed, you don't have the effect of the bright sunshine like you do today. But that's the science supports days like today favor the pitcher. Hitters don't do as well in these bright sunny days.
Jeff Bagwell signed on to that yesterday when he was on with us. Strike, and it's 1-2. San Diego and Colorado are just getting started in Colorado, as are the Angels in Texas and Arlington. That lady out in the center field area was right when she said, let's bottle this day. In the 5-7 patio area, whatever they call that seating area now.
Spidey Land?
Yeah, Spidey Land. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Astros are averaging 25,225 in home attendance this year. Should be picking up quite a bit with school getting out in what, a couple weeks now?
Yeah, end of May, first week of June, I think. Most of the schools are out.
The Dodgers come in to start that next homestand. That'll be a week from tomorrow night. High to Barmas, and Clint has worked the count full. Mentioned Jordan Lyles at Oklahoma City. And the Red Hawks might have made a key acquisition signing catcher Max Ramirez. He had 3 hits in last night's game. And that gives the organization more catching depth. Kobe Clemens picked up his 23rd RBI. Pop back, still 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jeff Keppinger was playing in his 3rd rehab game for Corpus Christi. He hit a homer yesterday. He's now 4 for 11 with the hooks, and scheduled to play today for them, DH today, and then move up to Oklahoma City.
He's probably chomping at the bit. He'd probably say, come on, I'm ready. We're going to Atlanta. It's close to home.
Yeah. Good point. And he's been in Florida for weeks prior to this, so he's got to be really feeling it right now. It's tough to be away from the big league club for that much time for an established major leaguer. But he had foot surgery, so it was going to take this amount of time. All along, this was kind of the projected time frame for him.
Yeah, and, you know, as you contemplate it, it doesn't seem that bad. But once the team starts playing and you're not there, it kind of eats at you.
It's got to.
Jason Michaels made that comment the other day in the story in the Chronicle, saying, you know, you're on a 15-day DL, and it's a couple weeks. It doesn't seem like a lot, but because baseball is an everyday business, you're missing all those games. It gnaws at you.
Sure does. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch count up to 72 for Capuano now. Ooh. J. Mike had a pretty good lead there at second base. He's trying to get that secondary lead, and Capuano stepped off.
Capuano's more concerned with the base runners at second than are the infielders. They're just trying to defend their position.
Getting some bullpen action for the Mets now. Popped up, and this will be back out of play.
Barnes drew a walk last time. Good lengthy at bat here.
Lefty Pat Mish is warming up. Four no-hit innings in the books for Milwaukee's right-hander Zach Greinke, and a 6-0 lead. Bottom of the 4th now. Taylor Buchholz is warming up for the Mets.
The year of the pitcher, part 2, continues.
Oh.
A couple of 1-0 games yesterday. Good AB.
Boy, it was. Farmas draws his second walk, and now it'll be Anuri Rodriguez. Terry Collins hustling out to the mound. Terry this weekend has come back to Houston for the first time in 15 years. Since he was manager of the Astros.
TC's time from dugout to mound, one of the quickest in the league. Doesn't waste any time. Now Lou Piniella, you could time him with a calendar going out there. Wander down the third base line a little bit.
Didn't we run a clock on him a few times?
Yeah. Adjust the back of his hat, hitch up his pants.
Well, Terry, of course, taking over a Mets club without the #1 pitcher, Johan Santana, healthy. He may be back mid-season or so. Capuano with 74 pitches. And now he's without Ike Davis, who had been his top hitter in the early stages of the season. Jason Bay came back not too long ago. Now, the Mets are just trying to hang in there for a while, it would seem. Anuri Rodriguez now has runners at first and second, 1 out. And that was the case in the 2nd inning when he struck out trying to bunt.
A chance at redemption here. Not a good effort last time. See if round 2 goes any better for him.
He bunts it to a charging right, but it's foul.
They're playing. They're defending this aggressively. They have no fear that he's going to pull the bat back and take a whack at one. And now Dave Clark going to talk to Anuri and perhaps give him that option. Yeah, I think that's exactly what he just said. If they charge like that, pull the bat back and swing.
And even if he doesn't make contact, it has to give pause to the third baseman. He does swing away.
So, I mean, they weren't coming as aggressively there, but, you know, the young player without a lot of experience, he's kind of caught in between. You figure, well, they came last time. They're probably going to come hard this time. So, you know, what you have to do if you're the hitter in that situation, realize you're not going to get a big aggressive swing in. You're going to try to stay in bunt position and then just draw the bat back and try to chop it if they're coming hard.
They're coming hard, and it's another strikeout trying to bunt on the foul ball.
I think a big assist to the Mets corner infielders, the way they defended that. They kind of had him tied up in knots.
5 strikeouts for Capuano.
And I'm guessing sometime on this road trip, there are going to be a couple sessions in the indoor cage for Anuri working on bunting.
Well, yeah.
And then they probably, you know, that's starting pitchers. They're just like the position players. They've got every opportunity to go up there and hit and then get somebody to throw to them.
Michael Bourne's 1 for 2, ball 1. Well, here's a question for you. He started the year in the bullpen, so you're not preparing him to be a starter in spring training or when the season gets underway. How much difference is that in preparing him to hit?
Well, the relief pitchers I mean, there's so much dead time in spring training. They probably do a fair amount of bunting anyway, maybe a little bit of hitting. I think some guys are just good at it and other guys are not, and you have to identify the guys who aren't very good at it and just make sure they get plenty of work so they can improve. When I was with the Padres, we had a coach, Jim Snyder, and he used to take the starting pitchers up into the indoor cage between starts and just get real short with you. It wasn't 60 feet 6 inches, but he had a screen and he'd just throw, good live BP to you. And it wasn't busy time. A lot of times BP for pitchers is kind of a laugh fest and you just try to get your hacks in. But with Jim, it was, give me a good effort in here and just try to be quick and do what you can. And it really helped. I actually, had a few hits that year.
Jim was in the Reds organization for a while. Among active pitchers with 800 innings, Capuano has allowed the fewest stolen bases, 15. Fly ball, left field line. Bay is hustling over and sliding, and it's a fair ball, and Bay caught it. That's quite a play. He disappeared from our view, and it took Mike Estabrook a while to put his fist in the air, but that's a big play. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left.
Saved a couple. Maybe more.
Game. Jason Bay, terrific catch with a couple of men on base.
Yeah, boy. Paid the price. Little face plant into that hard gravel. But big time play by Jason Bay. He'll get a big high five from Chris Capuano for that play.
2-0 ball game that could be very meaningful somewhere down the road. The Mets have had only one base runner. 11 straight Mets have been retired by Anuri Rodriguez. And Jason Bay leads it off in the 5th.
Of course he does.
It's one of the unwritten rules of baseball. He popped to second. He swung at the first pitch his first time up.
Attacked that first pitch fastball in his last at bat, so this time Anuri starts him with a slider. Generally, Bay, pretty patient hitter. But every now and then he'll cross you up and attack that first one.
He looks at that one as well, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count for Anuri Rodriguez. He's thrown 48 pitches, 28 have been strikes.
He's made some good pitches with his fastball down.
Yes,
but he haven't been called. It's interesting, he's got this game going, and you try to analyze it, and you can't say, well, he's had a great breaking ball, or he's really fooled him with the changeup, or fastball command has been great. None of those things have gone on, but he's, his stuff has been good, and the Mets would probably tell you he's been effectively wild. He's hard to pin down. He might miss with a couple, and then he'll just make a real good pitch. And I guess that's the bottom line for him today. When he's needed to, he's been able to make a pitch.
That was the phrase Dusty Baker used after his first major league start against Cincinnati, the 5-inning 1-hit shutout start. Effectively wild. Carlos Lee comes in for the pop-up, and Chris Johnson is there. Carlos up on the mound. It drops. And he had to come up on the mound and then overran it, it appeared. CJ might have had the better angle.
Yeah, it's a tough play for an infielder, and you know the pitcher is instructed to get out of harm's way and usually to direct traffic to, you know, if both guys are calling for it, to run one guy off. And again, with this tough sky here today, nobody really wants this ball. Carlos takes a shot at it. And that's one of those plays that looks really bad, and it should be caught, but that's a tough play in a bright sky today, and having to come up on the mound.
It's an error on Lee, his third of the year. The Mets get Bay on base, and it's Murphy batting. He fouled out to the shortstop, Clint Barmas. Bay is 2 for 2 in steals.
You almost never see that where a pop-up stays right on the mound.
That's
like
true.
That.
It's 1-0.
First base runner for the Mets in a while. A little bit of an adjustment for Nuri as he goes from the stretch for the first time since the first inning.
The Mets will be returning home tonight. They play Florida in a 2-game series and Washington for 2. They play the Yankees in interleague play, so they get to stay home for that series. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, I was asking some of the Mets about that the other day when they play the Yankees. How do they do it? Do they just show up at Yankee Stadium? And I guess they have that opportunity, but they do take a team bus over from Citi Field.
Oh, okay.
And they get a police escort through the city, so they make a pretty quick trip over to the Bronx.
That's that effectively wild stuff. 2 balls and a strike. Well, he has kept the hitters loose. Baltimore leads at Tampa Bay. It's 8-2 in the top of the 6th inning. Nick Markakis belted his 4th home run. J.J. Hardy, number 2. That's laced into right field. First hit for the Mets. Line drive single by Murphy. Murphy's had some good swings in this series.
Yes, he has. Turned on some fastballs, and now the Mets in business with first and second. Air base hit. And the first threat of the day to confront Nuri Rodriguez. Good news is he's down at the bottom of the order.
Justin Turner bats. Turner hit a fly ball to right in the second. Washington 7, Florida 2 now. They're in the bottom of the 5th at Washington. Phillies just got 2 in the top of the 6th at Atlanta to grab a 2-1 lead for Roy Halladay. Bunting in the air. It's fouled off the screen by Turner.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Clearly the Mets are prepared to hit for Capuano.
Well, they've had warm-up action.
If you're bunting with your 7-hole hitter up with 2 on and nobody out, then you have to be ready to hit for your pitcher.
Reds are going for a sweep of that series against the Cardinals in Cincinnati. They lead at 8-2 in the top of the 8th.
Tony La Russa is not back yet, is he?
Don't believe so. He was supposed to take the weekend off.
It's got to be eating him alive.
You know it. Upstairs, that decks him. And
calling a foul ball.
Foul ball, yeah. And they got the bat on it. So it's 0-2.
Yeah, he was more concerned with saving his life than getting the bat out of the way, apparently.
Understandable.
Tough to bunt this fastball coming up at your chin. It looked like he stuck the bat in JR's mitt.
Sure did.
On the way back.
Now Tolles goes out.
puts a whole new twist on the sacrifice.
Yeah, the limbo type arrangement at the plate. Jose Arredondo is in the game right now for the Reds. We were told by some people who follow that club that he's a guy they did not want to lose in that organization. He doesn't have any more options left, and they wound up promoting him from his injury rehab assignment and sending down Mike Leake.
I think Leake has more value long term as a starting pitcher than he does working out of the Reds bullpen right now in a somewhat limited role. So I think they're better off with him down in the minor leagues getting starts, so he could be ready to take somebody's place in the rotation if there's an injury.
Way up. 1-2. Taylor Buchholz warming up for the Mets. Toronto is blasting Minnesota at Minnesota 8-1, bottom of the fourth, and has 2 more homers from Jose Bautista. He has 15.
It's amazing.
Isn't it though? Pass Chris Johnson into the left field corner. Bay will score. Murphy's behind him, and he's going to be sent home. Farmas with a throw to the plate, and it hits him. And the Mets have tied the game. Turner winds up at third base, so he was up there to bunt, and he wound up knocking in 2 and standing on third.
How often do you see it? A guy's up there trying to get a bunt down, fails to do so, and then takes advantage of a pitcher's mistake. It's a 2-strike slider that just hung there, and Turner whacks it down the third base line into the corner. Chappelle sending first Bay home, and then Murphy.
Now the Astros move the middle infielders in halfway. Pridey, the batter, he had a fly ball to center earlier.
Interesting that by all accounts, Chris Capuano's day is done here. He's only pitched 4 innings. And he hasn't been at his best, but he's only given up a couple of runs. He's been really throwing the ball well in recent starts. Maybe there's a physical problem.
Could be. Fernando Martinez is on deck to pinch hit for him. Line shot into center. The Mets have grabbed the lead 3-2. RBI single by Pridey. That's his 10th run batted in. Now Martinez is being called back. And
Capuano hit?
Yes, he's going to hit. Stays in the game with a 3-2 lead now for Capuano.
So this rally by the Mets buys him at least another inning of work, and if he completes the 5th, he'd be in position to win the game. And Nuri Rodriguez, just the opposite turn of events, as he's sailing along with a no-hitter coming into this inning, and a little pop-up turns into an E3, single, double, single, and it's got Brad Arnsberg out for a chat. A lot of conversations going on here in the 5th inning.
This game has really turned dramatically.
It feels like the 7th inning.
It does. 5th inning strategy. 3 runs on 3 hits for the Mets, 2 runs on 5 hits for the Astros. It started with the error on the pop-up. Carlos Lee got that error, and then Murphy single, Turner 2-run double, Pridey an RBI single. We'll be in Atlanta tomorrow night, 5:30 for the pregame show. Astros Live on FS Houston. Brett Myers and Tommy Hanson to be the pitcher.
Hanson, the young fireballer, is off to a good start, has a low ERA, part of that outstanding Braves rotation. Jurgens and Hudson and Lowe. Oh my.
Hanson checks in with a 2.51 ERA. 4-3 record. The Tuesday game, a day game, pitches up on Capuano, ball 1. Capuano has a couple of sacrifice bunts. Tuesday's game, by the way, will be on May 20 at 12 o'clock. We'll have to check and see if Thursday's game is also on My 20. That's a day game from St. Louis. Probably is, but we need to check that out before we tell you. Bunt. First base side. Anuri going to Bill Hall. And the sacrifice for Capuano moves Pridey to second. 1 out.
Well, the Mets winning the battle of the bunting game. Murray couldn't get bunts down, but Capuano successfully moving Pridey into scoring position.
Jose Reyes has bounced out to third twice. Josh Tolley's on deck.
Been a long inning. Challenges the fielders to stay focused.
Ball 1 to Reyes. Those folks have stayed focused. Well, having a good time.
don't let that baby get too much sun.
He's kicking.
I want to watch the game. Let me watch the game, Dad.
Dad, now that they've bunted, I want to see this.
You're kidding me, Dad.
It's all right to cover me up for the bunt, but
yeah. And I know you got that ice cream too. And don't try to kid me. I know you got it. I can feel it with my toes.
Reyes takes and it's a ball.
Yeah, finally, the slumping shoulders from Rodriguez. He's a number of those calls he hasn't gotten, and he hasn't reacted that time. You can see with the body language. He's not verbally asking Chad Fairchild where was that pitch. That was what the body language was saying. And there we go.
That little guy wants to see this 3-0 pitch. That's ball 4. Reyes walks, and the inning continues to unravel for Anuri Rodriguez, facing Josh Tolley next.
Hey, there's no crying in baseball.
Now he's in the shade. Yeah. He can fully view the rest of this game from there. The sun is bright today.
There's been great improvement over the years in baby transportation devices.
Absolutely. Got to protect your back at all costs. Tolley has walked and flied to center.
We talked earlier about Anuri and his propensity to get outs in the air, but he could use a ground ball right here. Get to and get out of Dodge, clean this thing up.
He's had 3 ground ball outs. 4 if you count a bunt. Fly ball goes to center. Michael Bourne backing on it. Pridey to tag, and he'll go, and the throw goes into second on out number 2. David Wright will be the 8th Met to bat in the inning.
And a good base running there by Pridey, tagging up, taking third base on that fly ball, knowing full well that Bourne's going to throw into second base to keep Reyes out of scoring position.
A 3-2 game. Big situation here for Anuri facing Wright, who's popped to short and struck out. 70 pitches in. Anario Del Rosario is warming up. Tolles, Pence, and Lee are due up in the last of the 5th. Throw going over to first.
Reyes, a very successful base stealer in his career, high percentage. And he's getting advice from another pretty good base stealer, Mookie Wilson, the first base coach for the Mets. But I don't know if you would give Reyes the stop sign here if you're Terry Collins, but you might tell him to stay put for a pitcher or two. You've got Anuri Rodriguez on the ropes here. He's struggling a little bit, and you've got a power hitter in the box, so you might not want to take any chances on the bases and give Wright a chance to inflict some damage.
Mm-hmm. Wright takes a look at it. It's strike one. This is an anniversary date for Mookie Wilson. On May 15th, 1985, he swiped his 200th base at Houston. Del Rosario getting loose.
A lot of activity out there in the pen. Looks like a fitness club.
Big cut by Wright. 0-2.
So now this might be a time. Generally, you don't think of no balls, two strikes as a running count, but with Wright down in the count, you might say, hey, let's go for it. Try to steal a bag here. The Astros might not even throw through for fear of a double steal. Hitter down the count, no balls, two strikes. Sometimes it's a way to pick up a cheap run.
Reyes goes. Tolles does throw through. Here's the runner coming home, and he scores. And it's safe at second. 4-2 Mets. They do steal that fourth run.
That's why I said they might not throw through, because, you know, with Reyes being as good as he is at stealing bases, your chances of getting him are fairly slim, and you're always fearful if you let the throw go all the way through to second base that the man on third will come home. And the infielder there, in this instance, Hall, he's got to read the play. If he feels like he has no chance, come up, cut the ball off, and come home. But he felt like he had a shot at Reyes, so he stayed on the bag, or stayed close to it anyway.
Double steal for the Mets. Priddy got his second, and Reyes his 13th. 2-2 to Wright. And that's where resourceful, and that count got to 0-2. They made something happen.
Any number of plays you can put on there in first and third situation. Throw all the way through, have the infielder crash and just make a short throw and hope you can catch that guy off third being overly aggressive. Fake the second, take a shot at the guy on third.
Now Reyes takes off for third and makes it there without a throw on a wide pitch. And Reyes picks up number 14. He's tied Michael Bourne now for the major league lead in steals. And he's dancing off third as well.
Not a bad idea with a young pitcher on the mound who's having a tough inning. Try to rattle him a little bit more.
Wright spins out of there. Now he wanted to check with the umpire. It was ball 4. Chad Fairchild indicating that, and Wright takes the stroll with Beltran coming up.
Now Rosario's ready in the bullpen.
Yeah, he might be coming in here, the way this inning is going. Beltran is 0 for 2. He lined out hard to Lee his last time up. Brad Mills is going to let him stay in.
Well, you know, and a lot of times, manager, especially at this stage of the game, you're down a couple runs in the 5th inning. You know, is my long man or my, you know, the guys that work this part of the game, are they a better option than my starter? And it's a flip of the coin right now. Brad, the confidence level in any number of those guys out in the bullpen is pretty low right now for Brad, I'd assume. And he wouldn't admit to that. I suspect one way or the other, this will be his last hitter of the day.
Foul back. It's 1-1 to Beltran. Well, Nuri Rodriguez was clipping along in this game. He had set down 11 in a row, had 4 no-hit innings with 1 base runner, and then this inning started on an error by Carlos Lee on a pop-up on top of the mound. 3 consecutive hits followed. Now a couple of walks later on.
So one of the runs in this inning unearned, and any more that scored would be unearned. It's
2-1.
Dangerous situation here, the way Beltran's been swinging the bat.
Now he'll see a 3-1 pitch.
He looks gassed. He's thrown a lot of pitches in this inning, and a lot of times it's not just the pitch count, it's how many pitches you throw in a given inning. Kind of like a fighter, out there taking a lot of hits in one round. There it is, 34 pitches in an inning is a big number.
Swing and a miss. 3-2.
All right, we'll be moving with the pitch. Carlos backs off a little bit.
He struck him out. At least it's a good finish after a rough inning for Nuri Rodriguez, with the Mets grabbing the lead. 4 runs on 3 hits with an error. They stranded 2. It's 4-2 Mets.
Chance to see the national anthem performed by these girls right here, the Chilton sisters. All 5 of them were out here last year. They actually came and sang a nice little happy birthday song for JD. Well, JD, it's not your birthday this year, but I tried to ask them if they knew any Chris Christopherson. They did not, but they are going to roll back the clock a little bit and sing Rock Around the Clock. Go ahead, girls.
1, 2, 3, clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
When the clock strikes
do, do,
and
do,
more in the bed,
do,
so down we're
do,
gonna
rock around the clock
tonight. We're gonna
rock, rock, rock.
to the front daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Do, do, do. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Oh my! How about that?
Doesn't get much better than that, guys. JD, that one's for you.
We have to get their contact information, Patty.
Wow.
Oh, believe me, I got it last year.
Oh, good, good. Do they do bar mitzvahs?
They actually are doing, since last year they were out here, they've been doing like 2 events a month since then. They're booked up. They're fabulous. They're from Beaumont. Tweet me if you guys want to get them. I'll get in touch with them. They're awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That is very impressive.
We'll drive to Beaumont to hear them again.
With your windows down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Singing the whole way.
And it's a good thing they don't have any personality either. Wow.
Their mom Rebecca comes from 13 kids in her family, all very musical. So it's a great family, and it's just been a pleasure getting to know them, and they're incredible.
That is fun.
Very good, very good. Thank you. J.R. Tolles popped up to second. Now it's Hunter Pence. He has struck out and walked in this game. 4-2 as it's turned for Capuano. He was about to come out of this game, but now he can be the winning pitcher. Now things can change in a hurry.
You know, and Nuri, as ugly as that 5th inning was, if the Astros could mount a rally here, he's pitched long enough to qualify for a W. But Astros going to have to get a little something going off Capuano. Things have gotten quiet in the Astros pen, so perhaps Nuri will get another inning.
1-1 to Hunter Pence. Carlos Lee on deck. That's driven a long way to right center field. Beltran back. 2 outs.
Put a pretty good charge in it. And he is so strong. He's been very good hitting the ball the other way this year.
El Caballo has flied to left and struck out. There's strike one as Capuano gets ahead in the count with Bill Hall on deck. The Mets have really seized the momentum in this game. That's to left center field. Well hit by Carlos Lee. He bangs one and narrowly misses a homer. Now he's into second with a double. Just a little further to the right and he had a home run. It's a 9-game hitting streak for El Caballo.
Yeah, they're probably going to take a look at this.
Yeah. That's his 6th double.
I guess not. It might be worth taking a look at. But I guess if it hits to the right side of that yellow line, the camera would have been completely different.
Right. If it kicks left, it's still in play.
What if it hits on the yellow line?
Well, we're saying
as
it
it's
won't
painted
happen.
up that line. I mean,
the way the ground rules have been discussed anyway, our understanding of it is if it kicks left, it's in play. If it kicks right, it's a homer. That's why they adjusted where they painted that yellow line. It's right
it's
on the
inside.
corner.
Oh, it's right on the corner itself.
Yeah. So that they set it up so it would be easier to enforce the ground rules. See that?
Yeah.
So if it kicks back toward right or right center, it's a home run.
Because if it hit to the right of it, it would have taken a completely different bounce. Although the ball had a little funky spin on it.
It did.
Come on, Carlos, you got to aim better than that.
He missed a homer by inches. Now Bill Hall bounces one wide of third. Hall's 2 for 2 with a double and a single, 2 runs scored. El Caballo really got into that one. He continues his surge in the month of May.
Yeah, hitting for something here in May.
Yes, 419 coming into this.
And starting to hit the ball with a little more authority, too.
Taylor Buchholz warming up again.
I think he's still lobbying. I think Carlos is out there lobbying the umpire. Said, don't you have to take a look at that?
Well, we'll take a look at it when we get a chance. It's a good stop by Tolle. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Hit number 6 for the Astros. They've had 3 doubles off Capuano. Capuano has not given up a homer to a left-handed batter, has allowed 5 to right-handed hitters this year. Batting average against him was .296 coming into this. All fouls it. Still a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Bill. Jason Michaels on deck.
Could be decision time for Dave Clark here on a base hit from Bill Hall the other night. Dave sent Carlos with nobody out on a base hit to left field. Jason Bay threw him out at home plate. And 2 outs, the situation usually calls for aggressiveness. Turner, the second baseman, is trying to tighten up that lead so Carlos doesn't get as good a secondary lead for that very reason. So there's a chance to throw him out on a routine base hit. Doesn't matter.
Hall swung in a wide one and struck out. No runs a hit. A runner stranded at second after 5. It's 4-2 Mets. round in the 5th. And Jason Bay will lead it off once again in the 6th. He reached in the 5th inning on that pop-up on the error by Carlos Lee as the pop-up landed on the mound, and he came around to score. That triggered the 4-run frame. And this one goes between third and short, a single to left by Bay. Somewhat surprising to see a Nuri Rodriguez still in this game. Bay's now 1 for 3.
I think that's primarily because of the struggles of the bullpen. If the confidence level was higher in the bullpen right now, probably would have made the move. And I think he's just trying to squeeze one more out of Nuri, but the leash will be much shorter in this inning than it was last. So with that base hit, you see action in the Astros bullpen.
Daniel Murphy, the batter. He's 1 for 2. And he looks at ball 1. Turner's on deck. Phillies and Atlanta are tied 2-2. They're in the top of the 8th now in Atlanta. John Mayberry Jr. hit his 2nd home run. Fernando Abad's warming up for Houston. It's 2-0.
I'll say this much about Chad Fairchild. He's been pretty darn consistent with that outside corner.
He has.
Leads me to believe that he's getting it right.
Foul ball takes the count to 2 balls, 1 strike.
Pirates dropped a 5 spot on Milwaukee in the top of the 5th. That's now a 6-5 Brewers lead. So the easy win for Greinke has disappeared.
Neil Walker hit his 5th home run.
What a day at the ballpark.
Oh,
my goodness.
Ideal. Just reading that article by Richard Justice in the Chronicle today about Drayton McLean's legacy, and this ballpark will be a big part of it. Strike, 2-2. Just the ability to enjoy outdoor baseball on a day like this, something we did not have obviously at the Astrodome.
No, and everywhere we go, all around the league, talking to writers, broadcasters, front office personnel from other teams, I mean, we love your ballpark.
All the New York broadcasters were telling us that this weekend. Now the throw hits the runner, gets away from Carlos Lee, and Bay heads for second base. Rough sledding here for Nuri Rodriguez since the end of the 4th inning for him.
Yeah, well, you know, when an inning takes as long as last inning did, and there's a lot of base runners, and you're working slowly, it just upsets the whole rhythm of the game. You know, things get a little loose. You know, they pulled off the double steal. Now you've got the errant throw.
Rodriguez makes his first error of the year. This one goes out of play. And you know, the Astrodome was a very functional building, multi-sport facility for so many years, but this one built expressly for baseball. On a day like today, we get to enjoy being outdoors. Murphy takes a walk.
We get to pretend we live in San Diego for a day.
It feels like San Diego.
Yeah. Well, that's probably going to be it for Nuri.
He's thrown 90 pitches now.
Yeah, and I just think, you know, there are times when you watch a pitcher and you get to the point that, okay, he just, you know, he doesn't have his command and he's really fighting himself. Now, there's Abad ready in the bullpen, and it looks like Del Rosario throwing alongside.
Well, Justin Turner's been announced, and no pitching move yet. Interesting. Turner hit the 2-run double in the 5th inning and scored. He's 1 for 2.
This is the situation last inning where he was up there showing bunt and then ultimately hit the 2-strike double.
Carlos Lee's moving in, looking for another bunt, but he's not bunting. Fly ball deep left field. Michael's back. He watches it soar, and it goes in for a 3-run homer. Turner hits #1 of the season. That gives him 5 runs batted in, and the Mets have exploded here in the 5th and 6th innings.
And Terry Collins crossed him up last time looking to bunt, this time giving him a green light. It may have been a situation where we're going to give you one swing, and if you get something you can juice, go ahead, then we put the bunt on, but that one swing was all he needed.
7-2 Mets. A rough day for Nuri Rodriguez. It was so good through 4, and then it really turned on him. Houston is brought to you by AT&T. By Jack in the Box. Get anything on the menu any time of day. And by Gullo, treating you like family. Well, the Mets have treated Nuri Rodriguez very roughly. In 5 innings, he allowed 5 hits, 7 runs. 5 of them were earned, walking 4 and fanning 2.
You know, it's just it's interesting because at the outset of the game, we talked about how this game can humble you. He was so good his first start. The numbers, at least, were very, very good. And then not so good last time. And today, he went through that same experience just in this one game where he took a no-hitter into the 5th and then got clobbered. Bumps along the way for a young pitcher.
Lefty Fernando Abad comes in, facing Jason Pridey. Scott Hairston's on deck with the pitcher's spot due up next. Pridey moves back from ball 1. Pridey had the RBI single in the 5th.
Well, Astros have given up a lot of leads this year, and maybe it'll be their turn to come from way back. Got plenty of time.
Plenty of time. 2 balls, no strikes. Taylor Buchholz was the last one warming up for the Mets. He's been up a couple of times in this game. That makes it 2-1. Abad had a rough outing, but last time out against the Mets yesterday, he worked 2/3 of an inning, didn't give up a hit or a run, didn't walk anybody. Foul ball makes it a 2-ball, 2-strike count. That was his first outing since last Sunday when he gave up 3 earned runs in 1/3 of an inning. Astros relievers have a 5.25 ERA, worst in the National League, and they have 10 blown saves. Little tap, Abad in. On the lead. 1 out. It was Taylor Buchholz, and it is Taylor Buchholz. He's thrown a lot of pitches out in that bullpen today. Now we get a pinch hitter. Scott Hairston is batting for Capuano, who could be the winning pitcher today. Capuano in 5 innings allowed the Astros 6 hits, 2 runs. He walked 3, fanned 6. Hairston was the starter in yesterday's game in center field, and he had a hit in 3 at bats.
This feeling that Terry Collins just couldn't wait to get Capuano out of this game.
Yeah.
He's got a 7-2 lead.
Yeah.
Get another inning out of him perhaps, but he's had all those injury problems in his career, and that maybe that's the game plan with him. Just be very cautious. Their bullpen's been very good, so as we talked about Brad Mills' hesitancy to make the move to the pen because his has struggled. Terry Collins is probably in a hurry to get his bullpen in there as good as they have been.
Yeah. And Ariel Del Rosario is coming in for the Astros to face Hairston. We'll be right back. Ariel Del Rosario is warming up. There is one out. Fernando Abad retired, the only man he faced. Friday on the little dribbler back to the mound. Now Scott Hairston is pinch hitting for Capuano, and Del Rosario checks in with an ERA of 4.80.
EDR, he features a good running 2-seam fastball and a slider. So right-handed hitters have to be quick to get the hands pulled in to deal with that 2-seamer when he's going good. He runs it down and in on him. Tough pitch for them to handle. Going to start with a slider here.
Leaves it up and foul right back below us. Hey,
nice play.
The guy in the Berkman jersey made a good catch.
I don't want it. Hang on to it.
He's wearing a Colt 45's cap too.
He's going to throw it at me.
He's been there before.
I'm a little nervous. Got coffee, computers up here. We can't be dealing.
If we could only go back to a simpler time. Good catch.
See, and unlike the Met fan over there, he didn't need no stinking glove.
No. And it's hitting the upper deck. Scott Hairston spreading his souvenirs around. Hairston turned 31 in 10 days. He was with the Padres last year. Played with his brother Jerry Jr. Little roller, Carlos Lee backhands, tossing back to Del Rosario for the out. Well done for the second out.
Ball that Carlos probably would have been better off going to the bag to and letting Billy Hall handle it, but he doesn't play over there very often. And the last thing he wants to do is assume Hall's going to make a play and have it trickle into right field. The ball didn't have a lot of pace on it. Hall would have been able to make the play as well, but as long as the play gets made, that's all that matters.
Jose Reyes has grounded twice to Chris Johnson, and he's walked. 2 stolen bases in the game for Reyes. Strike 1. Astros 9-12 at Minute Maid Park this season. They would love to pick up the pace on that home record. It's 1-1. They had a 2-0 lead when the Mets came up in the 5th inning, an inning that started with an error and then really mushroomed. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Del Rosario trying to get Reyes to offer it that 2-seamer running down and away. Reyes doing a nice job laying off. Good hat. A lot of good hats here today.
Quality. 2-2.
And that's quality too with that sinker. So it got more of the play, but great sinking action.
Dan Ugla homered in the Braves' 8th inning off Roy Halladay to give the Braves a 3-2 lead over the Phillies. Slow bouncer, and Bill Hall comes in, throwing to get Reyes. In the 6th, the Mets add 3 on 2 hits with an error. They lead it now 7-2.
That 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Just text @BAT to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details. Bill?
Thank you, Patty. 7-2. The Mets have opened up a 5-run lead, and they go to Taylor Buchholz now. Former Astro comes out of the Met bullpen with that 5-run margin. Michaels, Johnson, and Varmus due up in the Houston 6th inning. Taylor's 1-1. His ERA is 1.37.
Yeah, and there's your evidence as to why Terry Collins is probably in a hurry to get to his bullpen. They've been very good. Buchholz among that group that has been outstanding, and especially here in the month of May. Boy, they've been lights out.
They had a 24-inning scoreless streak that ended in yesterday's game. Jason Michaels with an RBI double is 1 for 2. Sergio Escalona warming up for Houston. Taylor Buchholz throws high, ball 1. Could be a little chink in the armor of Buchholz, who has pitched 3 times very effectively against the Astros this year. Total of 3 2/3 innings, giving up 2 hits and no runs. That he was up a few times in the bullpen warming up. Maybe not, but sometimes that can affect a reliever. 2 balls, no strikes. Taylor was a starting pitcher back in 06 with the Astros. He made 19 starts and 3 relief appearances. Been very effective in this role. Michaels with a fly ball. Jason Bay moving to his right. Buchholz gets out number 1.
Happy anniversary, Nolan Ryan. On this date in 1973, he threw the first of his 7 no-hitters. Beat the Royals 3-0. Jeff Torborg caught it, and that was Jeff's third no-hitter.
How many did Jeff wind up with? 4?
I don't know. Did he get 4?
Not sure. Chris Johnson singled in a second inning run. He's 1 for 2. Clint Barmas is on deck. Brad Mills getting ready to pinch hit if the Astros can get the number 9 batter to the plate in this inning. Phillies are batting in the top of the 9th, trailing the Braves 3-2. Craig Kimbrell in for Atlanta. Fly ball and up the line. Dan Murphy makes that play. Foul territory. Beltran just doesn't seem to be running well today, and Murphy ran a long way to get there. On an earlier play, the ball just barely dropped foul. Beltran was not running all out, so he may be nursing a knee problem. He's had a lot of knee problems.
Yesterday out of the lineup with an eye issue.
Apparently there was some swelling, and at first it was thought to be conjunctivitis, but that was ruled out. Clint Barmas has walked twice.
So what are they calling it? Just swollen eye syndrome?
That's about it, as far as we know so far. Says he missed the game with swelling of the right eye. His status will be reevaluated today. And he was somewhat doubtful for this game, we were told. Ryan Bogusevic comes out to the on-deck circle. 2-0 to Barmas. So if he reaches, looks like Bogusevic pinch hits for Del Rosario. Five hits for the Mets, 6 for the Astros.
I think Torborg only got 3, Browning.
Okay.
As did Alan Ashby.
Yeah. Is that the somebody caught more than that, though, right? Well, next weekend we'll find out.
Veritek, maybe? I am seeing Veritek here.
Okay. Strike makes it 3-1. We will be seeing Ash in Toronto next weekend.
He's going to have to come out of retirement and try to get to Veritek's number.
That's right. No doubt Allen is very anxious to do that. That's hit well to left. Clint Barmas will watch it soar into the seats. Line drive homer number 1 as an Astro for Clint Barmas. He drilled that 3-1 pitch from Buchholz, and it's 7-3 now. Well, that was the talk over the winter, that Barmas is a pull hitter, and he might be able to do that several times at Minute Maid Park.
Yeah, that was the hope. You know, not a high average hitter, but a guy who's hit for some power in his career. And be able to take advantage of that short porch with the Crawford boxes in left field.
Astros get a quick run back. Now Brian Bogusevic is the pinch hitter for Del Rosario, who in 2/3 of an inning allowed no hits, no runs with no walks, no strikeouts. 2 ground ball outs for an Ariel. Strike 1 to Brian. Bogey, a .333 hitter, has 4 hits and 12 at bats. And as a pinch hitter, he's 1 for 1 in this series. He's 4 for 10. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Bogusevic got a pinch hit in the 8th inning Friday night. Francisco Rodriguez. Clint Barmas has to be enjoying that moment after a 352-foot line drive. Foul back. 1-2. Somewhat unusual for a young player with very little major league time, in the case of Bogusevic, to be successful in the early days as a pinch hitter, but he's had more of a veterans type approach. Pretty aggressive. probably with a lot of counseling from players like Jason Michaels. 2-2. Matt Downs came up with his first pinch homer yesterday. Astros pinch hitters have 15 hits in 54 at bats with 2 homers and 6 runs batted in.
And most of the guys you talk about who do this job for a living, they say, you know, I'm not trying to get too deep here. Just try to keep it simple. Just look for the ball and put a good swing on it. Be willing to attack early. The first good fastball you see, let it fly.
Bogusevic fouls the breaking pitch into the seats. Cracked that bat. Well, this could be a very eventful week for the Astros with a potential change of ownership. It sounds as if that will be announced later in the week, according to the stories we've been reading. Final details are being concluded here in the next few days.
Yeah, this is a new experience for me. You were here when the last ownership change took place.
Yeah. John McMullen was a good owner. Greg McLean has certainly been, by acclaim, the best Astros owner in their history of 50 years. And nothing wrong with Mac's ownership. Mac had a penchant, as you well know, with all of his sports investments of buying at a great time and selling high later on.
Yeah, well, most people that own baseball teams are pretty good businessmen.
True. John McMullen bought the club when it was in receivership. Bogey takes. He's had a good at bat here. 3-2. Now let's see if he can get himself on base. But yeah, there's always a certain amount of wonderment on what the new ownership will bring, and that's to be unveiled. But it will take probably several weeks for that to become official and be approved by Major League Baseball. Bogusevic draws a pinch walk. Yeah, the ball got loose. So there's always a chance of getting more than one base. Pinch walk for Bogusevic. Bring up Horn. Dan Warthen on his way. We go to Steve Sparks.
Hey, I saw something about Jim Crane that was pretty interesting the other day.
What's that?
He was in the golf rankings in executive golf. He's the top handicap executive golf, top CEO in the country.
2 handicap from what we're hearing.
That's pretty good. That's competitive. You want a competitive owner, right?
Wow.
That's a good point.
And you also want an owner who endorses the game of golf wholeheartedly.
Here's another one, Sparky. We're just checking out some stories about Jim Crane online. He struck out 18 in the Division II College World Series game, 1974. That's still the record.
He might be like Monty Brewster and just suit himself up.
And now after the conference at the mound, here's Michael Bourne. He's 1 for 3. Well, Jim Crane has been trying to buy baseball teams for a few years now. Cubs and Rangers. He's made bids for them.
Well, the stadium at his alma mater is named James R. Crane Stadium there at Central Missouri.
Central Missouri in Warrensburg, Missouri.
It's the home of the great Jane Funky.
Jane Funky?
Yeah, friend of mine. Hosted a nice crawfish boil last night.
Okay.
So she knows. She knows about Jim Crane. She knows about Central Missouri.
And
she knows about crawfish.
Knows about crawfish.
A lot to talk about in Central Missouri. The Mules. Been a good sports school for a while.
They call them crawdads in Missouri.
Crawdads, is that what we call them there? Okay.
Yep.
Well, actually, I attended that university, JD, for one semester.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
I knew you were a Missouri guy, University of Missouri, but so you started there? And
well, no, that was a ruse to get out of the Army early, but it worked. It worked.
He's a Dodger.
Yeah, pretty much. Line shot to right field. That's a single. And Michael Bourne has advanced the runner.
Boy, just keeps having one good swing after another.
Yeah.
And we talked so much about Michael hitting the ball the other way, but we talked a lot about this last year, that the next step in his evolution as a hitter, once you show teams that you have the ability to go the other way, they're going to start to pitch you in a little bit more. And if you can learn to turn on that inside fastball, then you've got it all covered. You can go the other way when they work you away. You can turn on it when they come in. And he's certainly shown signs of that in recent days. He's been turning on the ball with authority.
Tim Burdak's warming up. J.R. Tolles is the batter. Tolles 0 for 3. The Astros have a chance to make this a very exciting afternoon. So they can continue what they're doing here. Hunter Pence is on deck. It's 8 hits for Houston, 5 for the Mets. And tied for ball 1. Buchholz got the first 2. And then he has struggled since then. He went 3-1 on Barmas, who hit a line drive homer. Walked Bogusevic, the pinch hitter. Fell behind Bourne 2-0, gave up a line drive hit, and now he's behind Tolles 1-0. And it's strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tim Burdak. Baltimore 8, Tampa Bay 3. They're in the top of the 9th at Tampa Bay. Two balls and a strike. Washington leads 7-4 over Florida. They're in the bottom of the 8th at Washington. Bobby Meacham, the first base coach, looking over.
Need a home run here.
Wouldn't that be interesting? Make it a 1-run ball game. Strike. 2-2.
He didn't want that one. He's looking something middle in. He could yank outside part up a little bit. I'd be willing to shoot that one into right center.
Buchholz had allowed only 2 runs in his last 18 2/3 innings when he took the mound today. Averaging better than a strikeout per inning this year. Fouled away. Taylor Buchholz has pitched well out of the stretch. With men on base, opponents are hitting 133 against the right-hander. Right-handers are hitting 135 against him. But Barmas got him.
Some pitchers you have to step out on to break their rhythm because they work so quickly.
Yeah.
That's not the case with Taylor. He takes his time. He's very deliberate.
He was drafted by the Phillies in the 6th round in 2000. Traded in the Billy Wagner deal to Houston. Tolles is down on strikes. That ends the Astros 6th inning. They score 1 on 2 hits and leave 2, and after 6 it's 7-3 Mets. The first blast as an Astro for Clint Barmas, a line shot into the Goes to the guy in the orange jersey. Very nice. Went with 2 walks, now a long ball. And he's back at shortstop watching pitcher number 4 for the Astros warm up. Lefty Sergio Escalona in this 7-3 game. Escalona will be pitching to Tolle leading off the 7th inning.
Sergio with just the 1 appearance with the Astros. He came in, walked a man, came around and scored. He's pitching well down at AAA. Saw big league time with the Phillies a couple of years ago.
Tolle is 0 for 2 with a walk. Abad, the other left-hander, out of the bullpen, worked 1/3 of an inning. And that's the difference in the Astros bullpen makeup right now. With Escalona joining the crew, they now have a couple of southpaws. So that could change the mix for Brad Mills. Strike makes it a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Escalona walked the only man he faced Tuesday against Cincinnati.
Tolle tried to hang in there and take that one off his front arm, and he started to turn away, and they said, wait a minute, I'll just leave that dangling, and he just missed.
Wright and Beltran to follow here. It's 3-1. Cincinnati outslugged St. Louis 9-7. The Cardinals got 5 in the 9th. Travis Wood won it. He's 3-3. Chris Carpenter lost it. That's a walk. Number 5 for Astros pitching. Carpenter is now 1-3 for St. Louis with an ERA of 4.95. Francisco Cordero got his 7th save. Jose Valdez warming up for Houston. David Wright is 0 for 2 with a walk. Yadier Molina joined Berkman among the Cardinal home run hitters today. Strike to Wright. Lance with his 11th earlier, and Hernandez and Heisey went deep for the winning Cincinnati Reds, who now have stretched their lead over St. Louis to a 1.5 games.
Ramon Hernandez is on a pretty nice roll.
He really is.
Home run bat.
No balls, 2 strikes to David Wright. Atlanta knocked off the Phillies 3-2. Johnny Venters was the winner. He's 3-0. He beat Roy Halladay, who's 5-3. Craig Kimbrell got his 10th save. 1-2.
Another complete game for Halladay. I know he was in there in the 8th, and
we're going to check on that.
That's when Uggla hit the home run in the bottom of the 8th off of him. Obviously, Atlanta didn't have to hit in the 9th. Boy, even though he got beat today, what a comfortable feeling for Charlie Manuel when he sends Halladay out there, knowing they can pretty much give the bullpen the day off.
It was a complete game. His 4th. Wright swings and misses and strikes out. 1 out for Escalona. Carlos Beltran is 0 for 3.
Yeah, Wright and Beltran haven't been much of a problem today. It's guys further down in the order. Turner, Murphy, Bridie inflicting damage. Mostly Turner. Fans are booing more lustfully now. I think they dislike right-handed hitting Carlos more than they dislike left-handed hitting Carlos. They're just in an angrier mood with the home team down 7-3.
That's exactly what it is. Well, they do say that switch hitters are 2 different players, so you're right. They don't like this version as well as the other one. Strike to Beltran. That makes it a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Beltran, of course, carrying that heavy paycheck. There's been speculation that the Mets might try to move some of their higher paid players. Some of them, though, probably have to approve those deals. 2 balls and a strike. And they're trying to sell a pretty good chunk of their ball club. They played well on the road. They're at 500, 10-10. One hopper, CJ to second, Bill Hall to first, double play. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Seventh inning stretch time will bring the fans to their feet. They'll be singing God Bless America with the Mets leading the Astros 7-3.
Now, as part of this season's Home Sweet Home program, the Astros and Budweiser are honored to be able to welcome to this afternoon's game service members who have recently returned home from overseas deployment. And now, on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, let us salute them and all who defend our freedom around the world and join Joe Prince for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with foam, God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Stay here in downtown Houston, and as the Mets have compiled their lead of 7-3, they trailed 2-0. They got 4 in the 5th, 3 more in the 6th inning. Now the Astros try to play comeback. Hunter Pence is 0 for 2 with a walk. And he cracks one to left field, foul. Wow,
what a vicious swing at the bat. Taylor Buckles effective with that high fastball, but Hunter jumped all over that one.
Mets bullpen in the month of May has been terrific with a 0.73 earned run average. Hunter's a .228 career hitter against New York. Buchholz with the curveball goes to a 1-1 count. We're hearing reports that Murphy walked in the 6th inning. Some people who were watching thought it was on ball 3. So we're trying to check that out. Foul back. 1-2. And sometimes we look at the scoreboard and it's not the same count we have, and you're trying to figure out which is which, and we lose track. Arizona got 4 in the top of the 2nd at Los Angeles. Ryan Roberts hit his 7th homer. Xavier Nady number 1 for the D-backs. It's 2-2. Baltimore won 9-3 at Tampa Bay. Jake Arrieta going to 5-1 with that victory over Andy Sonnenstein, who's 0-1. Curveball hit to center field. Friday. 1 out.
Orioles hanging in there in the American League East. They got off to that great start. Then they went into a funk. They're trying to even things out. 500 baseball over the last 10 days. They're a game under 500 now. 3.5 behind the first place Rays.
Well, they're certainly a lot more respectable under Buck Showalter than they have been for a while. To this point, but we're still not to the quarter pole yet. Carlos Lee is 1 for 3. Strike 1 to Carlos. He doubled to left center in the 5th, narrowly missing a home run.
Hottest team in baseball, the Detroit Tigers. They've won 7 in a row. Postponed today.
To left field, Bay is there. 2 outs. Now Detroit has worked its way into the mix. 3.5 behind Cleveland before play started today.
Been a lot of rainouts this year.
I think more than last year, the entire season.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
Bill Hall is 2 for 3. So obviously the attendance figures are going to reflect that, but if you go with attendance per game, that's a better way to look at it. Season starting April 1 for most teams this year, so there are more April games. Ball 1 up and into Hall. San Diego 3, Colorado 1. They've played 5. Ryan Ludwig hit his 6th home run.
It's gotten into San Diego.
Not sure.
All of a sudden they started to score runs.
Well, Cameron Maben's been hitting for one thing. Brad Hopp hit a big home run.
Got it going a little bit. They scored 9 yesterday.
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike. They've been able to come from behind in the late innings and win some. Nine to 7 was the score of that game yesterday. They beat Houston Street. Fouled, and it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Pirates are batting in the 8th at Milwaukee. Brewers lead at 9 to 5. Ryan Braun hit his 12th for them. Earlier, Lance Berkman hit his 11th for St. Louis. White Sox in Oakland are scoreless. They're in the top of the 3rd at Oakland. Curve got a swing and a miss, and Hall struck out. That's number 2 for Buchholz and number 8 for the Mets pitchers. They lead it 7-3.
Chevy Youth Baseball programs, go to youthsportswired.com. A couple of notes, guys. You were talking earlier about no-hitters, catchers with no-hitters. The record is 4, Veritek and Ray Schalk. Jeff Torborg is one of only 2 catchers to catch no-hitters in both leagues. Gus Triandas is the other. So there you have some deep trivia about catchers catching no-hitters.
That's some good research, Greg. Thank you for that. Double switch here. Matt Downs going into play second base, batting ninth. Bill Hall out of the game after going 2 for 4 and scoring 2 runs. New pitcher Jose Valdez goes into Hall's number 5 spot in the order with no decisions and a 9.39 ERA.
Yeah, it's been a bumpy ride for Jose. A couple of times he's looked really, really good, and other times just hasn't been able to locate very well at all. He's got plus stuff. Got a good heater and what can be a very good split finger pitch. Consistency has eluded him so far.
But certainly worth giving him more chances with the stuff that he does bring. And Jason Bay leads it off in the 8th inning. Bay has scored 2 runs in this game. He's 1 for 3, reached on an error to trigger that 4-run 5th. There is strike 1. Well, we had a report that Daniel Murphy walked in the 6th inning on what was ball 3. We've replayed the entire sequence, and that was true. The umpire, Chad Fairchild, lost track of the count. We were able to see him holding up the fingers and giving the wrong count, so that's how we were able to ascertain that. No balls, 2 strikes. Then Murphy rode home on the 3-run homer by Turner in that 6th inning. There's the split. They appeal. It's a check swing call, and it's 1-2.
A lot of times we talk about umpires, whether they're a pitcher's umpire or a hitter's umpire based on their zone. I guess if a guy's going to get a walk on 3 balls, you'd have to qualify him as a hitter's umpire.
Of course, you never know. The guy might have hit a home run, but anyway. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And it's a foul ball. Still 2-2 to Bay. Murphy's on deck, and then Turner's due to bat 3rd in the inning. 28,406 the paid attendance on this Sunday. One of the most beautiful days we've seen in a while. And normally it gets pretty warm by this time of year. Hunter Pence in right center. 1 out. Here is the at bat of Daniel Murphy in the 6th inning. Pitch by pitch.
Ball 1. Ball 2. Strike 1.
2-1.
Stretch the hamstrings.
But
now
he's holding up
throwing 3-1.
Yeah, he's showing 3-1, but it's 2-1.
So it should be 2-2 now, but in everybody's world it's 3-2, and there's ball 3/4.
Yeah. Well, Murphy certainly bought into it. He didn't question the count.
Nobody did.
2 hopper to second. Downs over to first. 2 outs. Yeah. And now it's Turner. Turner drove in a run with a double in the 5th, then hit that 3-run homer in the 6th. That's looking very large right now. Astros trying to avoid slipping to 10 games under 500 again. Right now they're 15-24. Mets are trying to pull to within 2 games of 500. There's strike 1. They would be 19-21 if they win it. They would go back home having won 7 of 10 if they can nail this one down. It's 1-1. At Arlington, it's 4-2. The Rangers lead the Angels after 5. Adrian Beltre hit his 10th. Foul back for a 1-ball 2-strike count. Astros have had Stellar relief pitching in this game. Hitless relief pitching so far. 2 2/3 innings of hitless, scoreless baseball, with only a walk to mar that relief no-hitter. 2-2. Minnesota Twins are trying to come up with a huge bottom of the 9th inning, trailing Toronto 11-3. Jose Bautista hit his 3rd homer later, and he now has 16 long balls.
My goodness.
Into right field, Hunter Pence moving in. It's a 1-2-3-8 for Jose Valdez. 7-3 Mets. First inning play. Michael Bourne took off on a pickoff throw, slid into second base. It appeared he might have beaten that tag from Jose Reyes. He was called out, and it was his first caught stealing of the year.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of play where an umpire oftentimes will anticipate out with a pickoff like that. It was close. Wasn't an easy call. And I was just down in the press box asking around about the 3-pitch walk. And apparently there was a ball called for the pitcher going to his mouth. Some people believe that was the case. So we'll have to take a look at that video again to see if we can catch that. But
good. That would explain it. Things are not always what they seem.
Apparently Murray went to his mouth out there and was charged for a ball.
Tim Burdick, the former Astro, at 1-0 with a 4.66 ERA, is pitcher number 3 for the Mets. He'll face Jason Michaels, who is 1 for 3, an RBI double in the 4th.
Burdick, pretty solid, if not spectacular, in his time with the Astros.
He did a nice job. Last year he had 64 appearances. The year before 76. The year before that 59. 2 balls, no strikes. Tim, now 37 years old, signed as a free agent with the Mets over the winter. Did a very good job against lefty hitters last year. They hit .213 against him. Right-handers hit .333 against him last year. Breaks that one off, and he gets a strike to go to 2-1. Taylor Buchholz gave up 2 hits and a run, walking 1, fanning 2 in his 2 innings of work. Chris Capuano is in line for the win, which would be his 3rd. To right field near the line, and that's dropping in. Carlos Beltran deep in the corner. Second double of the day for J. Mike.
That's what he does. He's a doubles machine. Into the right center alley. This one into the right field corner. Double, toil and trouble. The Astros with life.
Jason Isringhausen is warming up. J-Mike had 14 doubles and 186 at-bats last year. Now 2 for this season, and he's aboard for Chris Johnson. CJ with an RBI single in the second is 1 for 3. Barmas on deck. Strike to Johnson.
Would you call Burdack a loogie?
I just read that article the other day. I hadn't heard that until I saw that.
I've seen that term before.
A left-handed one-out guy.
Yeah, a loogie. You know, the specialization of the game.
Yeah.
These lefties that come in typically just to face one left-handed batter. Certainly not a loogie today.
No. Kind of unusual to see him come in and face a string of right-handed batters. But Isringhausen is warming up for some backup. Now Tolley calls time.
Hey, Tim, we're going to pay you $800,000 to be our loogie this year. What do you think? Sign me up.
A lot of people would take that loogie. Yeah. Well, Michael O'Connor pitched yesterday, and Pat Mish as well. And Mish pitched Friday also, so probably they're trying to avoid using him in this game. And with the 3 lefties, gives Terry some leeway. Igarashi's pitched both games of this series so far. No balls, 2 strikes. We haven't seen Carrasco. One and 2. Mets were ready to pinch hit for Chris Capuano in the 5th inning. He had trailed 2-0 when they came up, but by then they got 3 runs home and left him in the game to sacrifice, and it worked into a possible win for Capuano. It's a big reversal at that point of the game. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Angels have just tied the Rangers at Arlington 4-4 in the top of the 6th inning. Eric Ibar hit his 2nd home run. White Sox got a run in the top of the 4th at Oakland. They lead at 1-0 behind Trevor Cahill. Cahill's the pitcher for Oakland, rather. Now time called, and Johnson backs away. Alexi Ramirez hit his 5th home run for that White Sox run. Burdack from the Chicago area throws ball 3. 3-2. Tim pitched against the Astros in New York April 19th. Faced one batter, Michael Bourne, who got a hit off him and later scored.
The thing about Tim is you got to be patient. You got to make sure he throws strikes. He can lose command and struggle finding the zone.
Johnson is patient and draws a walk, his 4th of the year.
Just a good at bat there, and good recognition of what Burdack was going to try to do with that 3-2 pitch. I mean, you could just tell by the way he reacted. He saw that slider the whole way.
Terry Collins will make a move. Burdack gave up a double to Michaels. Now a walk to Johnson. He's going to be taken out. Isringhausen ready to head this way with Clint Barmas, who homered in the 6th inning, having a chance to make this a lot more interesting game. 7-3 New York, and we'll step out for this. in the game. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. And Clint Barmas is the batter. Barmas has walked twice, and he ripped a homer last time up.
How about 2 pair? Home runs over walks. That'd be a good hand. I'd take that.
That's ball 1. Isringhausen, the 38-year-old veteran, former closer, has 8 holds in 13 games, a 2.38 ERA. Fastball is good for a strike. It's 1-1 to Barmas. Isringhausen, the longtime St. Louis Cardinal, joined the Mets, who had drafted him in '91 in the 46th round for this season. He was with Tampa Bay in '09. Missing there.
A pretty resilient guy over the years. Battled injuries. Carved out a real nice career for himself, but he wanted more, so he returns with the Mets. Better than 11 years between his first appearance and then his return to New York.
Foul liner. 2-2. Isringhausen was with the Cardinals from '02 through '08. Led the league in saves in '04 with 47. He has been a warrior with all the surgeries he's had down through the years. Just loves baseball so much that he is still going at age 38. That one gets away from him a little bit. It's 3-2.
Barmas's reputation as a pull hitter with a couple of men on base are trying to stay away, trying to force him to swing at something outside part of the plate.
Matt Downs on deck. Comes back to get a strikeout. 1 out. Strikeout number 9 rather for the Mets. Now Downs hit his first career pinch homer yesterday. Coming up now for the first time after entering the game in a double switch. His batting average is .275 for 40 at bats with 2 homers and 8 runs batted in. Michael Bourne's on deck. Strike 1 to Matt. Downs has made 7 starts this year. He's come in a few times in situations like this, double switches. Astros pitcher Valdez is in the number 5 spot in the order. Bill Hall was double switched out of the game after making the final out in the 7th. Brad Mills' club could use a big hit here, down by 4. Isringhausen is high with the curveball. One and 1 for Jason. Isringhausen only pitched 7 games in the minors last year. He was on the disabled list with right elbow trouble. Line shot over shortstop. Michaels comes to third. Dave Park's going to send him home. And here's the throw into second, and the slide safe. RBI double by Downs. Johnson getting to third. It's 7-4. And Michael Bourne comes up next.
We talked earlier about Brian Bogue at 7th. The nice job he's doing for a guy without a lot of experience coming off the bench. Just not a pinch hit appearance for Downs, but coming in as a defensive replacement in the double switch. Delivering in his first at bat. Solid line drive towards the alley in left center. And good hustle. Get into second base.
J. Mike had to break back toward the bag, but still scored easily. And Chris Johnson moved into third. Hustling double there by Downs. It was pretty close at second. That could be important. And now it's Michael Bourne. High for ball 1. Michael's 2 for 4. J.R. Tolles is on deck with the Astros down by 3. That was their 10th hit. They've had 5 doubles and a homer. Popped up. David Wright. 2 outs. Now Tolles, he's 0 for 4. Isringhausen pitched one hitless inning against the Astros in New York on April 20th.
This is the nature of baseball. Provides you with opportunities to turn your day around. 0 for 4 for JR. A couple of punch outs, a fly out, and a pop up. Nothing going on good for him today offensively, but a chance here at redemption.
He looks at strike one. Hunter Pence on deck.
I imagine Isringhausen's approach with Toles would be similar to that with Barmas. He's going to try to stay away, throw that cutter. He started in curveball for strike one. You'll probably see a steady diet of cut fastballs away. Another hook.
0-2.
Spread out. Use the hands. Just try to punch one somewhere.
Francisco Rodriguez is warming up for the Mets, their closer. And he flicks a foul. JR is 1 for 12 with men in scoring position this season.
It's a great 0-2 pitch there. Off the plate, but close enough where the hitter has to be willing to offer. He really got him set up to come inside if he wants, but because JR is awfully quick in there, they may forget about, quote unquote, the pitching book of working away then in and just staying away.
Good block by Tolle there. It's 1-2.
That's where the value of all of the years of experience for Isringhausen really comes in for the Mets. Not the closer, but a guy who has plenty of experience in late game tight situations.
.293 career saves for Isringhausen.
It's nice if you can have a pitcher who thinks like a manager on the mound. The manager's thinking, hey, just stay away from this guy. Don't give him anything he can jerk into the seats and tie the ball game. Most pitchers just think in terms of, how do I get this guy out? You don't think in terms of, well, what's the worst case scenario? What if I mess up? But a guy with Isringhausen, with his experience, you'd like to think that he's kind of in tune with the way a manager would think in this situation.
It's 2-2. Mets bullpen has 4 blown saves. 12 saves and 16 opportunities for the Mets. Friday is due to lead off the 9th inning, then the pitcher spot, then Reyes. To right field. Carlos Beltran over toward the line for the play to end it. And the Astros settle for 1 run in the 8th on 2 hits. They strand 2. It's 7-4 Mets. Introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-In Value Guarantee. See your Hyundai dealer for details. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. On this sunny day in downtown Houston, the Mets grabbed the lead with 4 in the top of the 5th inning. Then they added 3 in the 6th. Now they lead at 7-4 as they bat in the 9th against Jose Valdez, who had a 1-2-3-8. Jason Pridey to lead it off. He is 1 for 3 and an RBI single in that 4-run 5th, in which the Mets batted around. He looks at ball 1. The Astros have Pence, Lee, and the pitcher spot due up in the bottom half. It's Willie Harris in the on-deck circle to give Terry Collins a left-handed batter for the pitcher next.
Presumably Francisco Rodriguez will come in to try to finish things up. Brett Wallace available to hit for the Astros. Likely will get that at bat.
That's a strike call. It's 2-1. Brandon Morrow and Toronto won at Minnesota today. 11-3. 3 balls and a strike.
Things will start to get really busy in the scouting department in anticipation of the June draft coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's time to start to get those draft boards put together and start to make some decisions. Calling those scouts from around the country, all the cross-checkers, and everybody's down. Bobby Heck and all his guys out checking on all these talented young players.
Now this month of June gets really busy. 3 balls, 2 strikes in a couple of weeks. How about that for an outfit?
Maybe needs to take the lid off the bottle, though. Come on, baby.
Probably cutting some teeth. There's a walk to Pridey. Now that other guy had the baby. Might want to think about a cap next time out. Better train these kids early anyway.
Yeah.
Willie Harris will be the pinch hitter for Isringhausen. Isringhausen in 1 inning allowed 1 hit, no runs, with no walks, 1 strikeout. Tim Burdack in no innings allowed 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, no strikeouts.
Let's see how Terry Collins chooses to play it here.
He could play for 1 run.
Yeah, I would play for 1 run.
Harris is taking a look down at Chip Hale after taking strike 1. Harris a .219 hitter this season with 1 homer as 7 runs batted in. He's 1 for 15 pinch hitting. Looks at that one and he's behind in the count. 0-2.
Interesting, they were sacrificing with their 7-hole hitter in the 5th inning and down a couple of runs. And now in the 9th with the leadoff man reaching and a guy who's 1 out of 15 as a pinch hitter, not a power hitter, not bunting. You would think the situation would call for a bunt here.
Yeah. Bouncer back to Valdez.
If you bunt, you don't hit in with double play.
Well, you led right into that. 1-6-3. Oh well.
And we've gotten to the point where we're so concerned with getting our closer a save that the thinking is we don't want to score another run because we don't want to cost our closer a save opportunity. Heaven forbid, if I ever hear that to be the case, I'm leaving the game forever.
Yeah. Valdez got the comebacker. Started the 1-6-3. Now he faces Reyes, who's 0 for 3 with a walk. Mets have 7 runs on 5 hits. Astros 4 runs on 10 hits, 2 errors. Strike to Reyes. Ian Kennedy in Arizona playing at Los Angeles against Ted Lilly. 4-1 Arizona after 3. Interesting to see what happens with that Dodger situation.
Yeah, a lot of talk about them perhaps not being able to make payroll at the end of the month, and they'd have to go to MLB to get the money.
Apparently, there was a report that there was a meeting between Frank McCourt, the Dodger owner, and Bud Selig.
Ooh, ugly hat.
Yes, it was, and that's a good stint there for Valdez. Lead to better outings for him with a couple of scoreless. Now the Astros come up. Bottom of the 9th inning, trailing 7-4. And some of them standing, hoping for a big 9th inning against a guy who has 11 saves and 12 opportunities.
Yeah, a couple of knocks and a big fly, and we're tied. We've got to be patient. He's got 10 walks in 18 innings. Tough to hit, though. And it's an 0.96 ERA, 11 saves and 12 tries. Came in the other night, and his breaking ball was pretty good, but his fastball didn't have a whole lot on it. It was upper 80s and pretty straight.
Threw 29 pitches in that game Friday night. Got the save in the 6-4 Mets win, giving up 2 hits in 1 1/3 innings and no runs. Hunter Pence is 0 for 3 with a walk. That's strike 1. It's only going up on the board at 90 miles per hour. It's 0-2. Rodriguez has converted 11 straight saves after the first one being a blown save this year.
He threw a lot of breaking balls in the game the other night. I'm sure that's what Hunter was thinking. He's going to start me with a breaking ball, and he's gone fastball to get the jump on him.
Missed with that one, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Carlos Lee is on deck. Then the pitcher's spot with Brett Wallace available to pinch hit. One ball to third. David Wright over to first. 1 out.
That's the swing we have not seen much of from Hunter lately. He's been so good about hitting the ball up the middle and going the other way. And fooled by a breaking ball and rolled over on it.
Brett Wallace comes out to the on-deck circle. Carlos Lee is in the batter's box. Francisco Rodriguez facing Lee, who is 1 for 4. K-Rod came up with the Angels. signed with them as a free agent in '98. The Mets signed him to a big deal after the '08 season. 3 years, $37 million. Ooh, the chin music for ball one. Francisco Rodriguez is from Caracas, Venezuela. Carlos Lee had to move away from that one. K-Rod has 13 brothers and sisters. He was raised by his grandparents. Foul back, and it's 1-1. He came up with the Angels in '02 and was a postseason star that year. He won 2 games in the division series, won 2 games in the league championship series, and another in the World Series. So 5 wins, tied a major league record for postseason wins at age 20. 2 balls and strike, and he was the youngest to win a World Series game at age 20. Led the American League in saves 3 times, including a 62 save year in '08. And he gets a swing and a miss for a 2-2 count.
Yeah, his fastball the other night, as I mentioned, was pretty straight. That one had real good sink.
And that can be the difference maker. You're right. Not just the velocity, but the movement. David Wright takes care of the second out here in the ninth.
Try somebody else.
Brett Wallace will be the pinch hitter now for Valdez. Valdez in 2 innings allowed no hits, no runs, had 1 walk, 1 strikeout. The Astros got really good relief work for 4 innings, hitless ball.
The silver lining for the day, the 4 innings of shutout baseball from the bullpen that has really struggled so far this year. And 2 out of 4 from Michaels, 2 out of 4 from Hall.
Wallace, a .336 hitter, is among the league leaders. Brett looks at ball one. 2 homers, 12 runs batted in. He's had 125 at bats, none as a pinch hitter so far. Moving into everyday playing status. And this one to left field. Bay over and on the run. He has it. And the Mets have come from behind to capture this game and win the series 2-1. They go 4-2 on a 6-game road trip, while the Astros go 2-4 on a 6-game homestand. Terry Collins comes back to Houston for the first time in 15 years, and the results are good for the Mets. They've won 7 of their last 10. Final score: New York 7, Houston 4.